Just make sure the stream comes up. Give it a few seconds. Check the Discord as well. All right, yeah, I'm streaming again. It's been a while. Tried it a little while back. Hello, guys. Seeing that you're dropping in the chat now. Oh, everything's good. I'm good, thanks. How are you guys? So today I was thinking I was gonna. I did that 10-minute video a little while back where I did modular spaceships, and I had some requests in the comments to implement those into a Unity project. But I thought I'll do that, but I'll also remodel the ships with some less stress. So I'll do a few modules, and I'll have them imported into Unity, and we'll make a little small space shooter game today, I think. So here in Sweden, it's nearly midnight now. So the kids are finally about going to sleep. I'm a terrible dad because they've been up way too late during the summer. But now they're in bed, and I'm gonna spend probably a whole bunch of hours now. But I probably have to replace this. I'm still waiting for a battery or like a power supply for my camera, so I can so I don't have to change the battery all the time, because it'll probably run out about once an hour. So, whoa, chat is exploding. Hello guys, glad you like the channel. So I know it's late, and it's short notice, but let's see what we can get done anyway. All right, yeah, same here. 24. So let's just get started. I hope everything's up and running. You have to let me know if I get out of sync or something like that. But, as usual, I've got my palette loaded. So if you don't know how to get this palette, just check out my low poly editing video, the long one. I go through how to get this palette sorted. And if you're watching the rerun of this one, that's how it is. Hello guys, Germany, Italy. So it's late for you guys too. Sorry to keep you up. So Alt-E to scale along normal. So good. All right, I'm just going to start doing some modules again now. So I know I'm going to get distracted a little bit by the chat. Not distracted, it's great to see you guys chatting away. But I tend to be able to talk and do stuff at the same time, but I'm terrible at reading at the same time. So let's see. Hey, Imphenzia, do your Space for Unity and Procedural Planet assets work for HDRP? No, they don't yet, because I need to update those. And I'm just learning HDRP and URP myself. I'm actually going to be using URP today, but I do need to update those assets. Oh, Belgium, Ukraine, Norway, France. Whoa, very a lot of you staying up late. So let's let's get started. I'm just going to do the auto mirror again. I'm not going to stress these builds at all, so you have to bear with me. Just going to take it quite easy today. But we'll make a few. Oh, and all the music that I'm playing as well. I put a playlist up. It's my own music. It's about 4 hours of it. So it should last most of the... YouTube crashed. Okay, I hope it didn't crash for me. I think it's still streaming. Okay, let's create a few more low poly modules here. I'm gonna do it a little bit slower so you can follow along. I've got screencast keys running again so you can see them. So let's see, what should we do? I'll do Shift D, Y, and then 4. Shift R a few times. We'll make a few extra modules this time. Some variations. That's good. Yeah, thanks. Haircut. I finally had to get it done. Been postponing getting my haircut with the whole COVID thing, and then finally I decided to do it. So I picked the least popular hair barbershop, or whatever you call it, in Sweden, in Nynäshamn. And then I did it when they were about to close. No one else was around, so I finally got it done. Where do I publish my games? On itch.io. I've got a few. I mostly have done my... I tend to start a lot of prototypes, and I don't really finish so many of them, but my Ludum Dare games are there anyway. So look up Imphenzia on itch.io. Oh yeah, Twitch. Is it better? I have to check out Twitch. I don't know, have a clue how to Twitch. So we'll see. Okay, I'm talking more than I'm doing modeling here, so let's see. Scale a few of these. This is a bit unusual for me to do the streaming, to be honest. So I'll do the same type of thing, cockpit here. Just tend to make them fake black glass, so that's the first one. Gonna be similar to the other one. Yes, I participate in game jams, but only one of them. the Ludum Dare is pretty much the only one I have time for. It used to run 3 times a year, now it runs 2 times a year, which is pretty good for me. So, oh yeah, default cube for the win. I understand if you guys have to go to sleep. I should really be going to sleep as well, because I'm going to be tired tomorrow. But this is too much fun, so I can't really help myself. Also, my kids are finally getting a bit older, so they can take care of themselves when they wake up. So gone are those days where you have to spend basically, well, when you go to bed at like 4 a.m. and then the kids wake up and you have no choice but to get up. Now I can just stay a little bit longer. I don't know if the volume, what the volume is like. This track I actually made 5 years ago for a game. I don't think the game was actually ever released. It wasn't my game. I made it for a project. See. All right, thanks guys. I'm gonna try to stay up to date with there's so many chat comments here. It's great to see you. Sorry if I can't answer everyone. Great, Brazil as well. Cool. Glad you like them. Please. How do you get good? Let's see. How do you get good Blender graph quality? How do you mean graph? What do you mean by that? Not quite sure what you mean. So let's do I to inset, E to extrude. I'm gonna mix the music a little bit, so it's some of my trance music today, and it's some of my game music that I've made for games, and it's some piano music like this one, and some chip music. So if you start to hear like something that sounds like Mario Brothers, then you know. I've warned you. Another sneaky live show. This one I actually announced in my Discord about half an hour ago, but I don't see any responses there, so I don't know if anyone actually spotted it. I find it so difficult to find the time to attend, like do all the things, do the videos, do my day job, do the house, and then the Discord. I knew sort of that the Discord was going to be something that I'd struggle with. But I'll try my best to drop in as often as I can. What are you? I'm modeling. Good question. I'm just doing some spaceship modules here. So I'm gonna make. I really like to do the spaceships modular, because when you do like a shoot 'em up game, then you can have the modules explode and separate, and you can have them as separate hitboxes with their own colliders and everything like that. So I tend to just do random stuff like this. So Alt E to extrude long face normals, scale those down a bit. Let's see. What is your GPU? I've got actually a bit of a beast when I went all in when I did my last machine, so it's 2080 Ti. The GPU or the graphics card costs pretty much like the rest of the computer, I think. It's a bit insane. So let's just do some random. This could be something like a cargo module or something maybe. I'll colorize these a bit as well. If I ever were to try to do a 10-minute build in a live stream, I'd probably get so distracted that I probably couldn't complete it. Let's see. What software do I use for music? I used to use Blender not Blender, what am I talking about? I used to use Cubase most of the time, but now I've started to transition to Studio One by Personas, I think they're called. I think it feels like Cubase is left a little bit behind. Feels a bit outdated, I think. Oh, good. Crazy Spike. So you saw my announcement. That's good. So what software do you use for music? Oh, yeah, that's the one. I already replied to that one. So yes, I'm going to do some merch. Actually, I ordered my samples today, so I've created some merch. Some t-shirt, hoodies, coffee cups, and what else? Oh, here's a chip tune. So sorry guys, if you're not into chip music, sorry about that. This is called Lift Me Up Platformer, I think. Is that what it is? Yeah. Is the volume alright on the music? Is it too loud, too low? A low poly 2D art. No, I've never tried that. How do you do that? So let's get something else here. We can do maybe some. I spent so much time talking here. Let's just keep doing some modules here. Have to focus. Maybe this could be some sort of a bridge thing. Need to extrude that one. just a tad bit high. Okay, that's going to be a problem because I think my volume here is... Oh, that's a little bit lower. Have you tried using the Unreal Engine 4? Yes, I have, and I'd really like to use that engine because I know that it can produce amazing results, but I'm not good at C++, and I find it really difficult to get adapted to that engine. So I think the UI and everything like that feels so foreign to me. So I wish, but I'm gonna give it another chance. It's more of a personal thing that I just need to get used to, I think. I've got some of my assets running, mostly the sound ones in Unreal Engine, and my space boxes. I don't know if you've seen my space box assets as well. It's not space for Unity, but it's like static space boxes. So, hello guys. Whoa, do you ever sleep or just work for 24 hours? I sleep way too little, as some of you guys comment, rightly so, in my videos that I look tired. It's probably because I am. I sleep about 4 hours a night maybe. Sometimes I sleep 2 hours and sometimes 5, and sometimes I sleep like 8. That's quite good. And then very rarely, but oddly enough, I can sleep like 14 hours as well sometimes. Let's see. Yeah, I know performance for C++ is unrivaled. I know, I really have to learn it. I totally agree. Let's see. So I'm going to make a few models, a few modules, and I'm not going to assemble the ships in Blender. I'm going to assemble them in Unity as well, because that gives a lot of flexibility. So I'm just going to be doing the modules here. But I should actually colorize them a little bit more maybe, so make them a little bit more interesting. Let's do I to inset that on, E to extrude down, G, make it darker there, make something here as well. I to inset, E to extrude. I'll colorize them a little bit as well. Actually, I think I'm going to color them all, instead of using this standard gray, I'm going to go for this bluish gray. I think it looks a little bit more metally. So probably going to try that. And same thing for these. Oop, scale the wrong side. When I'm going to reveal my RTS game, it's not so far away. We're actually discussing how to do that. We're entering a closed alpha testing now. And I might, in the Discord, we might be looking for a few extra testers. So I might announce something there for people to sign up their interest to do some alpha testing. We're playing the game a lot now, and we're having so much fun playing the game, and I just hope others will do it. It's still a prototype look to it, so even though I've spent a lot of time doing Blender stuff, the game is so complex in the development that I could have spent a lot more time on the actual graphics. But we just had to try the concept to see that it was fun to play, and now we're actually hooked ourselves. We play. If we could, we'd play all the time instead of developing it, but we have to do the sprints and develop it as well. No, I said no. I didn't get a 2080 just for low poly modeling. I play games as well, and I play a lot of games. So whenever I get a chance. Atari in inexperienced language. Atari, no. Yeah, Unity is, I think, blueprints are good, but you can't really, I'd say that you have to do some development, some coding to do. So I'd probably, if you're new, I'd recommend starting with Unity, because it makes it a lot easier to get started, and then you can always change and adapt to Unreal later on. But I believe, I spoke to a guy, and he said that someone made an entire game, quite a complex one, in blueprints, but it sounds very complicated to me to do that as well. Which game, may I ask, that I play or that I'm developing at the moment? So, Mika, which one do you mean? Yes, look, yeah, at some point I'm gonna do a 3D model of a gun. Sorry, I've been postponing that because I'm not quite sure what gun to make, if I should make a real one or a sci-fi one, or what I should be making. So, but I'll do something. So I'll scale that one. See, TIE Fighter, yeah, it looks a little bit like it. Do you need any online services for your RTS? I'm not sure what you mean by online services. We're hosting the backend service at the moment in Microsoft Azure. Is that how you pronounce that? I'm not sure. and we use Unity and the some of the cloud services that comes with it. See, sorry guys if I'm missing some part 6 of the low poly game, not sure yet. I still have to remake it. The problem is that I've got to re-record and remake it. I can't just use the old footage because I've changed it so much that it would be a really long editing process to do that one. Actually, what am I doing here? I'm going to do some engines now and some other modules. So tend to just, let's see, I'll do L. Let's disable clipping, move that apart, scale Z, L to clip, no, F to cap it. And then I'm going to do the same for this one actually. Should have just, actually I can delete this one. L, delete, vertices, L, Shift D, duplicate, Shift D, Y, 4, do a few. Okay, now let's make some, should I do engines first? I'll do engines. So, what is the name of the game you're making? It's not decided just yet. We just have a project working name for it. Most likely we might have found a name for it now, but we're not certain yet. So, yes, Roblox game at some point I'll be making. I'm just learning that one too. My son is into it, and my other kids as well. So I'm gonna make something in Roblox, I'm thinking as well. Let's see, maybe I should. I'm debating whether I should make them. I have to decide whether I should assemble them in here or in Unity. In Unity is better. So use procedural planet pack with these spaceship. Yeah, I haven't actually. I was going to keep it low poly for now, so probably can't do that one. They look a bit mismatched, I think. Which track is this? I forget the names of my own songs that I made. Oh yeah, I made this one for a game actually called Plasma Sky. It's an Android game. I don't know if they made it for a really cool guy. He made a, suitably enough, a shoot 'em up game. So let's do 6 lookups. And then do item set, so scale period, and do individual origins, scale those down. Let's do A, G, make them dark. So someone, it's funny, with this track someone got rickrolled. I didn't know what that means, but apparently it sounds like Rick Astley. Like an 80s tune. I wanted to make this tune so it sounded a bit 80ish because, and early 90s, because I used to do, I used to love mod music from the Amiga and like the demo scene, and it was inspired a little bit by space synth music. So this is probably this instrument in particular that sounds super old style, 80s. Let's see. You stated a shoot 'em up game in the title, so it's that kind of like the game. Yeah, I'm just gonna bring these little spaceships into Unity today and see what if I can just get something small up and running. So let's make another engine here as well. Yeah, I know, low poly assets for Unreal Engine. I wish I had the time to actually do stuff because stuff sells in the market, and but the game that I'm making now is taking up so much of my time that I find it really difficult to maintain even the assets that I've got, so I have to solve that somehow. How do you export these as separate FBX files? Yeah, I usually, actually for Blender 2.79 I made a script that exports these. Actually, I'm going to do 2 quotes here. But I have to redo that script so it works in 2.8. Because then basically I just had all these as objects and I just hit export batch. And then it picked the name that I had of separate objects here and exported those as individual files. So let's do another engine here as well. Let's see, what should I do this one? Just do B to extrude. Let's just scale that one down. Let's make them a bit wider. Some different styling. Item sets, need to extrude that one. This one we can maybe tilt a little bit to make it a little bit different. Let's see. Control plus, rotate on the x-axis. No, I didn't want to do that actually. I wanted to skew this one. this one we can move into. Items at that. Need to extrude it. Let's force it on that axis. G. UE Unreal Engine 4 supports the blend. I know Unity does, but I tend to actually prefer FBX because the files are smaller, and it used to be that when you sold assets in the asset store you couldn't actually use blend files, they didn't allow it, so I think they might have changed that now. But I sort of just stuck to FBX files. I like the size that they're so much smaller. Maybe do item set that one, move it up, E to extrude, S to scale. Okay, now let's do some wings as well, and then I'll have to call it quits on this and then start bringing it into Unity, I think. What's your thought process on whether to duplicate or extrude and scale? Duplicate or extrude and scale. I do both. Sometimes I duplicate and sometimes, like, I duplicate faces sometimes, like this, Shift D, and then I extrude them to make separate objects. Is it possible to add emission on the models? Yes. I could. I'm probably going to do the emission in Unity instead. Actually, I should add some stuff here, and we can do some emission stuff here. So I should make them maybe. What track is this? Oh yeah, Prisma. I made this one when I lived in England. That was a long time ago. Which color should I use? Blue. Orange. I think, no, I'm gonna make these red because I want the fire in the game to be orange, so I don't want to confuse the ship's look. So maybe I'll, pardon me, make them red. Item set, E to extrude, S to scale. Oh, I've disabled clicking. That was a good mistake. E to extrude. Let's do some feature here as well. Item set down. E to extrude. Okay, let's do something. Okay, some wings now. E to extrude, S to scale. Bring it back, E to extrude, S to scale. First, let's just do a plain wing, because sometimes you don't want to complicate things too much. So that's a plain wing. Now let's do stylized wing. So bring it down maybe, rotate Y, E to extrude it down. Okay, now we'll do, that wasn't that much stylized, was it? E to extrude. This track, I don't know if anyone of you heard Castles in the Sky by Ian Van Dahl. That was popular about 20 years ago. This track I converted into a remix because I had a remix request for one of their tracks, Ian Van Dahl, but it didn't make it to release, unfortunately. Oh, is the music overpowering my voice? Okay, I can't even lower the volume anymore, but I can raise the volume on my microphone. Let's see. Okay, well, I should probably pause that, but then I have to promote my own music a little bit, so I'll keep it on. But where's my... I'm missing an icon here. Is it this one? Nope. I've got way too many icons in my tray here, so I'm trying to find my... Here it is. Here's my mixer setting for my sound card. It's a bit crazy. But I can up this one probably to 55. Hopefully my voice is a little bit louder now. Check, check, check. Is that better, guys? Man, that really sucks, man. What sucks? Let's see. I missed a lot of stuff there. Yeah, still in quarantine. That sucks. Well, Sweden is doing it a bit differently. I don't really agree with the way we do it. Yes, I'm using OBS. And let's see, my job, right now I'm making that RTS game, that's my main job. We don't get paid anything because we're self-funded for it since a year ago, so it's a bit of a gamble to say the least. I know it's a big risk and it might not even pay off, but I hope it will. So otherwise my job is IT security consultancy. I've been doing that for many years. So okay, perfect mix. That's great. Thanks, guys. Glad that that worked out. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Josh. Glad to hear that. Sorry, I'm missing so many comments. If I wanted to try to reply to as much as I can, but I get for some reason I can, like I said before, I can talk and model at the same time, but trying to read and answering questions at the same time, I find it difficult. Hey, how Sweden is? It's pretty good. So, well, if you disregard everything like politics and corona and stuff. Do a diorama. Yeah, I'll do another one. I'm not so happy with the last diorama that I made, so I can revisit that for sure one day. Let's see. Now I'm gonna do some more. Let's see. E to extrude. That's the scale. I have to do some more oddly shaped ones. Rotate Y. And then let's do E to extrude that one. Actually, let's stop it back. What happened then? E to extrude. I think I broke something there. E to extrude. What's the name? Please, what's the name of one of the iOS games? I've never made an iOS game actually, because I don't really get along with the iOS and Macs. I've got a MacBook Pro, but I feel like I'm on a different planet when I use it, so I can't really use that one. But the I made a game for the Android to test how to release it in the Play Store, and it was called Parking Spaces. I was happy with that game, but it got taken down because I needed to update the privacy policy. So I to extrude. That was another coffin dance moment there. Can't do that. Okay, so we've got a few wings now. We've got a few models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's gonna have to do. So what should we do? Let's see. I'll Imphenzia is on Patreon. Yes, I am. Patreon. Thanks, guys. I know some of you can support me there. It's really appreciated, especially now since I'm making that RTS game, which brings in 0. So I'm having to try to live on savings and assets and Patreon and YouTube, and I'm not big enough on YouTube yet, so it's eating into savings. So Patreon if you can, but if you can't, that's fine. Just happy to have you on my stream. That's great. I'm not even drinking my coffee either. Let's see, I'll actually reply to some questions here. So Kieran, your 10-minute video challenges are great. That's cool. Glad you liked them. Thanks. You're welcome. You are not lying. I spent 20 minutes debating leaving. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Josh, for subscribing. So, well actually, this is. I'm going to make a Unity video soon. I've got. Crazy enough, it's a 30-page script that I created to make a very basic learn how to use Unity. So it's going to be the most thorough Unity introduction that I'll ever make in my whole life. So that's coming. So let's see. Yeah, 40-minute videos, 10-minute challenges. Yeah, sorry about that. So be on Udemy. Yes, maybe in the future. I want to try to build up a big subscriber base first and try to release as much as I can free. And then maybe in the future, I'll do a Udemy course or something like that. But for now, I'll just keep everything free, I think, just to gain subscribers and things. This piano tune, if anyone's interested, I made this one for my youngest daughter. For every child that we got, I've got 3 kids, I composed a track for them each. And this one, Life's Coming to You, was for Maya, my youngest one. She's 6 soon. I live in Sweden, Nynäshamn. Let's see. Oh yeah, skid animation. I know that's coming in the episode 6 finally, when I managed to release that one. I actually use an existing script for the skid, so you can Google Unity car skids. I modified it a little bit, but you should be able to use that one. Okay, let's start to detach these modules now. Let's do P. I thought anyway. A T and then do by loose parts. And now we've separated all these. So this is going to be module cockpit. Thanks, guys. Hello, Spain. Which city in Sweden? I live in Nynäshamn, which is south of Stockholm. It takes about 40 minutes to drive, but I usually do it in 20 for some stupid reason. Kindest man alive. I don't know about that. Ask my kids. They'll say I'm not so good sometimes when I make them clean their room or walk or something like that. Let's see. Body. I'll just call this module. Oh, great that you're learning, guys. Happy to hear that. Module. I'll actually copy this into my cop, and then we'll do just body 2. Oh yeah, sorry. Thanks. Why don't I press F2? I know someone tipped me on that one before. Thanks, guys. Or thanks. I'm gonna actually. Who said that? Probably more of you. But I can't say your name. But Neo Vatten and probably some other guys as well. Thanks. F2. I keep forgetting that. So let's see. Module body or bridge. We'll call this one. Some weird bridge thing. And then what should we call this one? Core. Don't know why I'd call it that, but someone said TIE fighter, so let's just call that TIE. Flat. This is the worst naming scheme ever. This one I have to do differently because it's when you export into Unity, this one is symmetrical, so I only have to do one of these. So for this one I'll actually delete the mirror modifier for this one, and then I'll have to recenter this one, so I'll do, oh yeah, have I got an issue with the center as well now? I have to do this as well, so I select an object, I'll do Shift S and do, let's see, oh I forgot actually, I'll have to do F3 set origin, and then just, oop, wrong one, oh yeah, I have to apply the mirror modifier now, so apply F3 set origin. Let's see, origin to geometry, you can do space key. So try making a big beard. I just shaved mine off today, but I guess you mean in 3D. So will this video stay? Yes, it will. I think this is only the second time I live stream, but they'll be available for as far as I could see because they keep getting views afterwards. Hello, Vietnam. Consider getting Blender models in AR. No, I haven't actually. I don't really know much about AR. So. Teach with cool and calm, thanks. I hardly know what I'm doing. I just tend to do stuff and speak, so I'm glad it comes across useful. Oh yeah, especially the Star Wars. I'll have to do another Star Wars. It's been a long time since I did a Star Wars. Let's see. Headphones, are you rocking? I've got Audio Technica MH something 50. They're old now, so they're falling apart. I have to get some new ones. Let's see. Maybe do some glowing lines between those empty wings. Are we talking here? Okay, I'll just finish renaming these and recentering it. So let's see, we'll do F3 origin. I have to do this. I can't really chat into this. Let's just apply all of these for now. So this one will take away because it's going to be one-sided. And here I actually have to keep them because in Unity you don't really want to flip the geometry, so I have to export these as left and right wings. Oh, I did a plugin for that one. I should have used that one today. Never mind, it's not so many. So let's see, core, that one, yeah, shifts. Let's see, what should we do? F3 origin to geometry, 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 and then we'll do, I'm going to center these as well in scene, so let's see, F3, and this one we should name, that one we have, so wing, no, engine. Engine 1, and then that's going to be just, so that's okay. engine 2. Wing 1. Wing 2. Wing 3. Wing 4. And then here, what should we do with this one? We'll apply this one. I'll just check if I have it. What did I call it? Let's see. I renamed something. Split something. Separate. I think I actually upgraded to 2.83 after I changed that. Split. No, I'll just do it manually for now. Sorry guys, I'm missing the chat here now. If I considered releasing my music for streaming, I was thinking about it. I've got some of it on Spotify. Thanks, glad you like it. Don't go. So, oh yeah, living room with the AR. So I have to look into that one day a little bit more. So Christian, congratulate on the channel. Thanks. Let's see, the challenge of designing in 10 minutes was born by working at home with your children. Yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to start with something that was quick to make, and I like confined like restrictions when makes you focus a lot more when you have to do something within a certain time frames. What kind of games do I play? Now I play EVE Online a little bit, so that's the time killer of all. I used to play that one 15 years ago, and now I started a little bit with my kids again. Play a little bit of Roblox with them, but it's not so many Roblox games that I like. So I'll have to make my own ones there. And then I play Fortnite, so I wish I was better. I used to play a lot of FPS games, like Unreal Tournament, Rainbow Six. Then I like the old style adventure games, a lot LucasArts games and CR games and stuff. So let's see. Sorry guys, I'm missing so many things. I just have to do a little bit of this because let's see. I'll try to get back to some questions in a minute. So let's see. We should. What should I best do to this? We'll apply these, I think. And then I'll do tab LP, separate by loose parts. Do the same for this one. So I made a plugin for this one to actually do this myself. So it would take mirrored objects and split them into and rename them to left and right. But I guess since it's so few, I won't really bother with that for now. P, loose parts. There we go. So now we actually have to name them L for left wing. So, oh no, not that one, F2. Did I just say L? Yeah. L. Which track is this? I have to, it's been so long since I made these. Oh yeah, theme of Decimation X. So a few of my friends, I consider them friends. I've only met them once in GDC, but they made a game called Decimation X, Zona Games. A couple of brothers from I think Nova Scotia and Canada. Great guys. So I made a game. They made a game called Decimation X, and I made the music for that one. And then they did another Decimation game that I made music for, and another Decimation game that I also made music for. Let's see, 3L or 3R, and then last one here. Okay, and then I have to do the origin for these as well. I like to keep the pivot point, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to select that one, Shift S, cursor to selected, tab out, so I get the 3D cursor there, and then I'll do F3 set origin, and then origin to 3D cursor, because when you rotate this, you can actually put the modules really good on the spaceship and have them rotated. So that's really useful. A bit tedious that I have to do it twice here, but Shift S, cursor to selected, F3, origin to cursor. Let's see. from my, I always name them so that the left is from the ship's orientation, left and right. So I hope I did that, yep. So it's when I assemble the ships later on, it will be correct. So let's see, Tab, Shift S, cursor selected, F3, set origin, origin to cursor. Shift S, cursor selected, Tab, F3, set origin, origin to cursor. So nearly done now. I've got a beer here as well that I'm going to open soon, and I've put it on an ice block. It does absolutely nothing to keep it cool probably, but it at least it couldn't make it worse. So I'm going to celebrate when I bring it into Unity. I'm going to open on. How did I start with Blender? I started many times to use Blender. I tried. I used to use 3ds Max, but I couldn't afford it. And then I started to use Blender about 10 times. I tried, and then they had right click as mouse select. Or you selected with the right mouse button, and I just couldn't understand why you'd make a program like that. But finally, since it was free, I managed to convert about 5 years ago, and I'm super happy now. Cursor selected, set origin, cursor. Nearly done now. And do there should do. Cursor selected, F3, set origin. I know I could flip these. Sometimes I use the same meshes in Unity as well, and I scale them in. I invert the scale by -1, but there's some hidden problems with that. So I tend to, if I'm going to use these, I want to model them like this. I think I might. Let's see. We got this one's centered, so all the points should be all right now. So I've broken my. I've actually got no such rule, but I should really have such a rule that you should always save your files. So I haven't saved this yet. So if this crashes now, it's my own fault. But let's just live a bit bravely and scale this one. I want to make these scale Y, a couple of longer ones as well. Nah. Don't do that. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try to reply to some questions. Sorry if I miss some of you guys. You're fast at typing, and well, not so fast. I use 2 fingers mostly, but thanks. So, can you create a tutorial on creating a Cinti polygon style characters? Maybe I could try maybe to do some. Oh, do you know, guys? If I hit 100k, I'm nearly on 80k subscribers now, and if I hit 80k. No, 80k, that's going to be next week maybe, or this week. But if I hit 100k, I'm going to do a live stream, and I'm going to make the stream about... I'm going to try to stream for 24 hours, but I have to break it up to multiple streams, I think. And I'm going to make low poly characters. I think that's what I'm going to make. And I'm going to do as many as I can, and some animations for them in 24 hours. So I can... I've thought of a few characters, and I've started to give them stupid names. So... Sorry, my stupid humor will probably annoy most of you, but where did I get my English skills from? I studied in the US for a year. I went to high school in Connecticut, so but then I lost that accent because I actually managed to acquire a little bit of an American accent, but then I married an English girl who's my wife now, so my accent is totally messed up now, something in between. Color palette is, check out my descriptions on some of my videos, it's there. So, I'm glad you like my videos, guys. I see a lot of comments like that. I'm super happy to hear that. It makes, it takes a long time to make them, and but I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad it comes across and that you like it. Oh, great, you're also making a game. Hippie Bop. Cool. What's my computer setup? I've got so an i9 9900 Intel processor, 64 gigs of RAM because I do have massive orchestral libraries that I need to use. And then I've got the 2080 Ti Enforce NVIDIA, and then I've a whole bunch of SSD drives in. Ask your kids for funny character names. I actually asked them, and I read them some of mine, and they just shook their head and said that I'm stupid. More or less. They didn't use those exact words, but So you're gonna be probably rolling your eyes at some of my character names that I'm gonna be doing. I've got a basically I try to think of every. Oh, what am I doing? I'm doing stuff now without having the mirror modifier on, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna bring these in now. Let's do select all of the objects. Alt G to center them all. That resets them all to center. That looks pretty good. And let's see now. What should I do? I'm actually gonna. I'm gonna export all of these. So let's see. Sorry guys, I just have to check. Let's see. I know I dragged it out because I needed to check where I put it. So I've saved that on. Export FBX. I'm gonna drag this out as well a bit because I've got the whole game projects and stuff here that it'll reveal my project names, my secret project names for the games that I'm making. Not that it'd be a problem, but there could be some other stuff in the paths there that I need to take care of. So, let's see. I'm gonna create a new one here. Let's bring Unity up actually. So let's create a new project and let's call it YouTube Shooter 1. Very creative name. And let's use the universal render pipeline for this one. So I like the high definition render pipeline a lot more because especially, weirdly enough, the shadows aren't problematic like it is in all the other settings. You really get some problems with broken shadows in the other render pipelines. But unfortunately, the high definition render pipeline is super tricky to get right. It takes a lot of work to set up all the stuff. So with the exposure and the color management and everything like that, at least that's the way I find it. So I'm going to use the universal render pipeline. That's also more performant if you're going to do something for like mobile and stuff like that. So let's create that. Let's see. Oh, thanks. I hope I'll hit Osman. Hope I hit 100k soon. Will you do a music tutorial? Yes, probably at some time. I've got some really old ones and I should redo that. I wish I had some more time. I use libraries. I've got a lot of soft synths like Nexus 1 and ReFX and let's see. Oh, I've got a whole bunch of them from Vengeance Sounds and stuff. But for orchestral libraries, I've got the East-West Symphony Orchestra Diamond library. Oh, thanks, John, for joining the Patreon. Sorry, if there are more people that are joining Patreon, I'm super, super grateful. It really helps me out, especially in these times. But as I said earlier in the stream, I totally understand if you can't as well. So just having you watching it is great. Sick background. Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw that one. It's my the lava monster that I made. Patrons can download some stuff as well. All my music that I've made is, I think, from the $2 tier. You can download all my music. So if you check in the Patreon history, it's about 10 hours worth of music with all the stuff that I've composed over the past 25 years or whatever it is. Let's see. So I just started the default scene here in 2019.3, and I'm just going to delete. We don't really need this stuff in space, so let's delete the example assets. For the main camera, we can switch over. They've changed the UI in I like it more in Unity now, but it's a bit confusing to me because everything looks a bit different. But I do prefer the new look, so it looks a little bit more modern. So what should we do? We can, let's see. Let's check some chats here as well. That's true. Will you show us how to make some game music? Yeah, I think, yeah, I will do at some point. So I'll do chip style music and also some orchestral stuff and some more trancey stuff. Oh yeah, webinar on the cell fracture. I'm actually planning to do a tutorial as well. Well, I'm hoping to do so. So this lava monster that I made, I'm going to try to do a cell fracture tutorial instead of that as well. So what's the Time Traveler? So you spotted some stuff there as well. No, that's not the RTS game. That is another project I'm trying. I love time travel, so I've got some ideas for that. Serum, yes, I've got Serum. That's a VST for all of those of you who don't use music, and a VST is a virtual instrument. Let's see. No, having you stream do videos is great. Thanks. Glad. Don't know. I do thumbs up. Every time I do thumbs up, you can click the like button, but don't do too many times because it disables it, I think. I don't think that the URP comes with those presets. You can't get an empty. Okay. Haha. All right, Mad Mange. Cool. Glad you like my videos. Tack så mycket. Oh, I am Swedish. I could speak a lot in Swedish, but I'd lose half my audience, so probably won't. Let's see. You know, your project list in Unity Hub was visible for a sec. Yeah, I know. That's okay. It's okay. It's just some random names and some weird stuff, so it's okay. Let's see. Is this your music in the background? Yes, it is. So I've got it's on Spotify. Some of, not all of it, but some of it is. And for my Patreon, the $2 and up, you can download all my music. It's about 10 hours. Secret projects, yeah. Say, hey man, your tutorial videos are some of the best I've seen. Woo, that says a lot though. Thanks, guys. All right, let's see. I need to. What should we do? Let's bring this stuff in. I'll just create. There's so many. I used like Unity. I started using Unity in version 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then the longer it gets, the more stuff you get in the default scene with lots of weird assets. They used to just be blank and empty. It used to be a main camera and a directional light. I sort of liked the old style a little bit more. So let's delete some stuff there. They even create this script folder and everything. So, settings. All right, let's bring this stuff in now. So Blender. Let's bring it to YouTube tutorials. What do you call it? YouTube Shooter 1. Let's create a new folder here called Meshes. Selected objects. Here's if you want. Oh, I have not pressed escape. That was a bit stupid. So export FBX. YouTube Shooter 1 assets meshes. Now you can imagine with all this stupid messing around that I'm doing now, when you edit the videos, it takes forever to cut all this junk out when you do when you press wrong stuff and everything. So let's I'm going to export it as one FBX files, but I'm going to have the selected objects, and then for some reason I've deselected it, but I'll just, I don't want to lose this settings again. But do apply scalings and do FBX unit scale, and then do this experimental apply transform when you export it, then the rotation and scale becomes correct. So I'll just export that, but I'll have to export it again because I need to select these, but I wanted to keep the settings here. So FBX, spaceship modules, selected objects, FBX unit scale, and then experimental apply transform. That's it. And now it should appear here for you. So if it updates, there we go. So spaceship modules here, and when you expand this, all the separate objects here will be into Unity. So now I didn't talk so much when I did that, and I'm going to do a proper tutorial on it, so don't worry about that. But I exported the FBX files with all the selected objects, and then it automatically comes into Unity, and it's named like this. So let's see, let's check the chat as well. This track, which one is this? It is State of Confusion. I made this one a long time ago, when I was confused probably. Are those sound effects on Patreon free for commercial use? Yes, they are. So Patreons can download, I release goodie bags where I do some random sound effects and music, a lot of the music as well. I have to actually retro release June because I missed that one, so I'll do that one again. And you can use the music and sound effects that you download from those goodie bag assets you can actually use in your own games. And if you just scroll through the history, you can get a year and a half's worth of goodie bag stuff. So there's a lot of sound effects there that you can use commercially, and music. So are you building a game or just designing? No, I'm just playing around a little bit in the stream to show a few steps, exporting them into Unity and stuff. So why not use Godot? I don't really know. I haven't tried Godot, so I've heard some good stuff about it, but I just know Unity so well, so that's what I tend to use. Jacob, who designed my logo? I did it on a piece of paper in 1997. I drew my little alien, and then I brought it into vector graphics, and then I've just kept it ever since. It's funny, when I look at my some of the merch will actually have the alien on it, so if you're into that one. It's funny, I've gotten so used to seeing my logo alien that if I see it mirrored, it feels like I'm gonna explode. It feels like it's a totally weird looking shape, and I wonder if this is what people see when they see the the icon, but for me it looks totally like it's gonna fall over. So I don't know, that was a bit of a side note. Why is... Okay, let's see. Open source, yeah, I'm not too bothered with open source or not. It's good if it is, but if it isn't, I understand as well. People have to make money, make a living from stuff that they make sometimes, so that's okay. Oh yeah, the wallpapers of space. Ah, yeah, space topic. I'm actually gonna bring up a few things in the stream here because I wanted to show. Let's see, I've got some. So again, let's see, where did I put it? Check this out. This is also on the Patreon one, so let's see, where did I put those? Wallpapers. I'll do a little slideshow of wallpapers here, because if you're new to my channel and stuff, most of the stuff that I've been doing for the past 10 years or so is not only music but also space stuff. So poly modeling is only something that I've done, low poly modeling, in the last couple of years or something like that mainly. But I've done a lot of stuff like this where I've got some assets for Unity where you create like a space scene, so it randomly places nebulas and stars in a sphere. So these are some screenshots from those things. So here's another one. And these are seamlessly wrapped around like a space box or a sphere and things like that. And then I also make procedural planets. So these planets are randomly generated. So the asset is only... I was going to say it's 1 megabyte in size, but it's actually 6 megabytes because the PDF in the manual is 5 megabytes. But all these textures are generated on the fly. So, and here's a screenshot from the parking spaces that I made for Android that got taken off because I need to update the privacy policy. So, and I made it, I tried to do it like a, what you call it, free to play, but with some upgrades. Well, it felt a bit stupid. I just wanted to learn how to do it, but I should have just released it for like $1 or something. Some more space ones. More space ones. Toxic planets. So again, these are just generated textures on the fly in Unity, and I should demo that sometimes a little bit more. If you check my channel history, you can see actually some videos of that assets. Let's close a lot of this down. These are only wallpapers. I know it's not that much to brag about. Wallpaper static, but where they come from is quite fun. Let's see. Need more Blender, yeah. It's going to be a lot of Blender stuff. So please do a tutorial on planets. Yeah, could try to. There are a lot of shader magic in those planets. I had spent 2 years making the shaders to get those planets to render properly. So. Okay, I'm talking too much here. Let's bring some modules in now. So I've got a whole bunch of spaceship modules. I'll just drag them into the scene, and then we can scroll in here. And then we should create a material here. Let's just create a new one called material. I'll call it common, because it's going to use the common palette. And then here I need to drag my palette in. How am I doing? Oh, the battery is down to... I might have to relaunch the stream at some point because my battery is down to 1 blip. So I might cut out the camera soon. Maybe that's a good thing. Let's see. I'll bring this palette in to here. Just put it in the materials folder for now. So I just dragged it from the desktop into here. And here, remember when you do the palette, this is only a really, really tiny 8x8 pixels. So this is super important if you want to, actually what I'll do is I'll do this first so you can see why it's important. So I'll drag that into the albedo or the base map there. I'll select these, drag that one to there. Oh, okay, I did a mistake here. I dragged the wrong modules in because I should do this instead. If you drag this in, it brings in all the ones, but if you wanted to do them individually, you can actually drag these in, I think, instead. Like that. And that creates them without the textures, but it's got the mesh renderer and stuff on. So I'll select these, and then drag this common material on to there. And now you can see that it doesn't quite look the same as I modeled them. The colors are a bit off. Like here, for example, it's not the red that we expected on some of them. Let's see. And then this one doesn't look black at all. And this is because we have to do this. Compression needs to be set to none. Excuse me. Apply. So that fixed part of the problems, because the compression on such a small texture actually makes the colors undistinguishable or non-recognizable. So that's one thing that we need to do. And the other important thing is wrap mode, filter mode, bilinear, change that to point and apply. That's super important too, because otherwise it'll interpolate the colors between those. So got a few things there. Yep. What else should we do? Let's crack and open this beer now. It's cold enough. I said I was going to celebrate when I brought it into Unity, so there we go. It's cracked open now. I'm not going to drink it though. Save it for later. Let's see. Planets in Blender. Yeah, I've thought about planets in Blender, but I do mostly Unity stuff, and I don't do so much texture stuff in Blender. So, how did you learn how to use Unity? I just started using it one day. Started it up and tried to do. In my coming Unity video, where it's a crash course or a very basic introduction to Unity, I'm going to step through everything, because I like to, when I start to use a new program, especially like a game engine, I try to do something extremely simple. I like create a box, and then I just see, can I make that box fall down? If I can do that, I'll make it see, can I collide with something? Okay, can I press space to make it jump? Can I use the arrow keys to move it? And then I gradually just increase it. So the Unity project that I'm going to be setting up to demonstrate all of this is going to take you through everything like that. It'll take you through the whole user interface here, what all of these different things do, and how you create your first scripts, and how you do like input, how prefabs work, how colliders work, everything like that, rigid bodies. So I'll go through everything like that. So let's see. Yeah, you can unpack prefab as well. That's correct. And if you drag this one, yeah, sometimes I drag this whole thing as well, and I just unpack it or move it down. So. But we got a few of these now, so let's see, what should we do? We need colliders on all of these as well. For primitive ones, I usually use primitive colliders. So for these modules, for example, I tend to use, for hitboxes, it's not, you don't have to, I'd say that the mesh colliders they require so much more performance that it's not usually worth it if you're going to make a shoot 'em up game or something like that. So I'll just select these now. And then I'll do add component and do box collider. And that sort of resizes it to the correct size. And usually that's okay. But you could tweak them, and sometimes you have to do compound colliders. So this one, for example, is a bit too wide. So instead of having that like that, I'd probably do this. I'd probably disable the collider or remove it altogether. Create another child object here. And then I'll just demonstrate this colliders. And then I do add collider, box collider. This is a bit of a painful task to do, because it doesn't automatically size it, but you use these sizes to change and then position it as well. But I'd say that it's worth the effort for the performance. If you're making a shooting game, and especially if you're going to make it for mobile, I'd definitely recommend using primitive, because I've done some speed testing, and it does make a big difference if you're going to have a lot of objects on the scene. So, and then you can add multiple box colliders here. Oh yeah, check this out. This song sounds like the GITS spider robot fight. I'll check this out, guys. I made procedural nebulas as well one day. Let's see if I can bring that video up. I haven't released those yet. I wanted to make a Unity asset for that as well. Let's see. I'm gonna bring that up. How many viewers have we got? 190. Whoa, nice one. Forget sometimes. See, I thought I was talking to myself near enough. Let's see. Where am I going? I'm gonna go there. Every time I switch PC, I tend to just shove everything onto my NAS storage, and then I have to go dig it out. So I have to think, like, was it more than a year ago since I made it? Then I have to dig it out. Let's see. I stored it on my old E drive. Imphenzia. You're not seeing what I'm doing now, so I'm off screen again. I've got a really wide screen, so I'm only recording the top right corner, which is a 1920 by 1080 section. Here, check this out. I'm gonna try to put it in the stream here. Can I do that? Here, I'll pause this music. So I know the music is a bit louder now because it's from this video, but I made this track for this video because these nebulas that are growing now, I made those in Substance Designer, which is a program that can generate, basically I use that to generate the textures for the planets. And you can animate those parameters over time, so I created a graph that generates nebula-styled clouds like this and light them up. And then I just exported like hundreds of PNG files, and then I created these animations of it. This video is actually on YouTube with the music and things, so my son used to play it a little bit when I used to go to sleep on loop, on repeat. So it just created some nebulas on his screen and then had the music playing. So I wonder if I've added that one to my Patreon. I should do that, because that track should be free to download for the patrons. And it just goes through a few different ones here. So the idea was to actually take these nebulas as well and have them procedurally generated in Unity, because it's super... I was really happy when I found this method, because my Space for Unity asset uses fixed images that are... they take up a lot of space, and these nebulas take out like... the source graph to create these nebulas is like 20 kilobytes or something. And then you could just create an infinite amount of colorized nebulas. So... maybe one day I'll get around to doing that. So I'll switch that off. So, sorry for going off on these side notes, sorry. Let's see. Should unpause that one again. Just some side notes. Let's see, what should we do? Can I know what the... oh yeah, so that music in the background is actually called Procedural Nebulas, and I think it's not on Spotify, but it's on my Patreon, I think. And if not, I'll have to add it to there. Let's see, Imphenzia, how would you go about adding text decals or logos to the models? Yeah, good point. I'd probably texture map those onto the modules, so that I would un-UV wrap that, probably. So if you need text on it, that's probably the best way. I think the high definition render pipeline in Unity supports decals, but I haven't started to use that properly yet. Thanks, Ahmed. From Egypt. I hope I said your name wrong. Sorry about that. Excuse that. So I want the procedural nebulas projected in my room. That would be cool. I bought Space for Unity years ago. Didn't know until very recently when browsing your channel that you made it. It's an awesome asset. Thanks. I hope it still works properly. I need to update it and feel really terrible for... I try to do so many things and I tend to fall behind on things. What age did I start learning Unity? I'm 45 now. Woohoo! Getting up there. So I started to use Unity in 2011 or 12 maybe. So I was 37. Wow. Okay. Okay, here's another piano track. This is for my son. Duplicate My Soul. I made this piano track when he was born. So he's 10 now. If I ever did something in the demo scene, I did actually. I was in a demo group on the PC called the Skyhawks. How about that name? TSH. We released a Christmas demo in 1992. It's still on. You can find it somewhere in on the, like an internet archive. If you look for TSH or the Skyhawks Christmas demo, you'll read the most ridiculous scrolling text that we wrote. I don't know why we would write such weird messages that we did. As if anyone was interested, but I was in that one. Let's see. And what age did I start learning Unity? Oh yeah, I answered that one. So, will we get access to these files? I don't know if it's much to get access to. I'm gonna add everything tutorial-wise I'm doing. I'm gonna add to my tutorial tier on Patreon. But I think for stuff like this, you'd probably best just, if you wanted to for a learning experience, just model it again and learn it. Yes, 1975, that's when I was born. Matthias Kylen. That's the Swedish word for fridge. No, I don't know that. Matthias. Isak Sjöstrand. I'm not sure who that is, sorry. Was he in the demo scene or? So, oh, glad that it helps you to learn Blender. Great to hear that. Sell those nebulas to Star Citizen. I still haven't looked at Star Citizen. I should really try that game at some point. Okay, so I was here with the colliders, wasn't I? Again, so many side notes. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna make. I'll tell you what. So this live stream is more like like just get together or whatever you call it. So I'm just gonna. Hopefully you can get stuff out of it, but I'll probably make a proper video, a tutorial about this as well, because I'm realizing that if you're watching this. And came for it to be like a tutorial, it's not going to help too much because I digress on so many things and talk too much. So I'll make a tutorial for it as well. So don't worry. I don't know, I say worry all the time. Probably no one's worrying about it. So let's see. I wonder if there's like a plugin that will automatically do the primitive colliders for this, because this is a really boring thing to do. And again, it doesn't have to be that precise, because when bullets are flying super fast, especially in space shooters and stuff like that, it's not really a problem. Then you won't really notice it anyway, so it just have to be... When I started to do low poly stuff and games like this, like for example that car game, the Parking Spaces, I did basically, I used mesh colliders perfectly and everything was good and aligned. And but then I realized that it was a waste of time, because it did when it spawned a lot of mesh colliders, it glitches in Unity. It has to recalculate. I think you can bake some of the stuff as well, but it's still quite slow. So I switched everything into some primitive rotated cubes and meshes, and it was so much more performant on mobile. So, and I couldn't tell any difference. If anything, it turned out a little bit better, to be honest. So I'll just do this for now, like that. Is it playing this on repeat? Oh no, this is a different one. So I made this for Procedural Planet track. This is also on my, I hope it's on my Patreon, otherwise I have to look. Worried about worrying. I'm a worrier, actually. Not a warrior, a worrier. I tend to always worry about something. Oh, glad you like the content. Thanks, guys. Oh, 74. Nice. 70s. Okay, so that's it. These, I'll just keep these colliders for now. That's going to be okay. That's going to be okay. Everything's okay. Oh yeah, this is a problem actually. Wings are always going to be a problem. So let's, for the sake of it, let's just actually, for the wing, let's just add a mesh collider anyway, even though I just said not to use them. The problem here as well is that if you want to make them convex, and a lot of collisions require that they're convex, then you're going to end up with colliders that are not proper anyway. So for that case, it's actually better anyway. So scrap what I just said anyway, and then do box colliders, and just have to live with this, that it takes a bit of time to do this. So you can resize it, move it up, and then you have to fiddle around with these scales. I always get the wrong ones there. Move it like that. And then you have to add another one. Oh yeah, and here's another problem. So if you add another box collider now, you can't really rotate a box collider, or at least you couldn't. Nope, you can't still. So then you have to do compound colliders. So for this wing, I'd have to do create empty collider. And then here we have to add the box collider, and then I have to move it into place. Here, for example, I have to flatten it. So this is actually a really tedious part. I'd say if you're making, for a game like this, you'd spend a lot of time, but that's why it's good with modular as well, I think. Then you could just do it once and then reuse the modules. So center, and then now the benefit when you've broken it into a separate object here is that you can actually rotate this object around its own, let's see, z-axis. So like that, and then flatten it a bit more, move it back a bit shorter. Again, it doesn't have to be so precise. So, and then you can press Ctrl D to duplicate that one, slide the whole object down, and then we rotate this one a little bit more. Move it down. And shrink it. And then one more time. Control D. What track is this one? Princess at the Gate. Made this one in 2007 when I bought that keyboard. I don't know if you can see that in the background. It's a Roland FP7 master keyboard. I don't want to rotate the camera because I might mess up my focus. So rotate that one a little bit more. Again, don't feel compelled to hang out in the to be kind. You don't have to stay here. If I'm too slow doing stuff that you're not interested in, don't feel sad about disconnecting. I understand it's late as well. So let's see. I'll answer some questions as well. So, oh, C64, yeah, Brian, that was a cool machine. I had a C64. It was quite late. I had a Spectra Video MSX first, and then I got a Amiga as well. So isn't it better to edit the collider by hand and then center it? Probably. Yeah, there's many ways to do it. Let's see, one thing I would love to learn, you once mentioned in your videos how to render the cavity effect in the viewport in the shading. Oh yeah, in Blender, that would be nice. Just if you want to learn it now before I make a video about it, switch the render from Eve or Cycles to Workbench. Then you actually, it'll allow you to set the cavity effect. But there's some limitations with that. You can't do custom lighting, and there's a lot of limitations, so that's a problem. Let's see, can you do low poly version in Blender? Yeah, you could. So any mesh collider, if you're gonna have a shooter game, for example, on a mobile or even on a PC, if you're gonna have like thousands basically of objects with exploding modules, then the mesh collider, when I do the testing, it is significantly slower. So the primitives are much more performant. So that's why if I make games like that, and to be honest, if you're making a top-down shooter anyway, you probably wouldn't want the colliders to be so precise anyway, because imagine that you're watching these from above like this now, and then you have bullets flying, they'll like pass under here. So in the end, I'm just doing this to show now, but you could actually, to be honest, since we're just messing around, I'm going to delete those anyway. And then let's reset that one. You could very well have it just like that, to be honest, because when you're going to have it, if you're having a top-down shooter, the bullet's going to fly and it's going to hit, whether it hits like right on the tip here or up here, it doesn't really matter. To be honest, it makes it easier because you start wondering sometimes why bullets fly through the ship. So I'll just keep them like this for now. It makes it simpler as well. Favorite Amiga 500 game? Easy, Supercars 2. So, how do you get a black background? It used to be on the main camera. It used to be a thing. They've changed this around so much now, but they here, background, solid color, black. There we go. And if you want it black up here, you just go to here, the drop down, and then disable the skybox. When I make space stuff, I tend to like to disable that. And it's shaded like this because fog is enabled in the viewport as well. We can disable that. So. Okay. And then here's the game view. Let's see. Oops. For a simple shoot-em-up style game, would it be sufficient to just use one single collider for the whole? Yes, it would be to use it for the ship. But now, even though I've just spent a lot of time chatting about weird stuff, when I make a shoot-em-up game, I tend to like to keep the modules like this because when you assemble your ships, it's quite cool to be able to shoot, like, let's say it was a boss, for example, an end boss, then you want to be able to have maybe that you need to shoot off the wings first, and you can have separate hit. I usually use a white material that if... Oh, sorry guys, my video just cut out here. So I need to fix that. I wonder if I can do this. So I'm going to try to change the battery in my camera and see if I can bring that up to the live stream. I think I should still be... Can you still hear me, guys? Because I'm using a separate microphone. Let me know in the chat. I think there's a delay in the chat as well, but let me know in the chat if you can still hear me. Yes, cool guys. Great. I have a sip of my beer now. The camera's not on. Audio's fine, good. Actually, my music just cut out. Okay, the stream OBS did not like this, so I'll have to restart OBS as well and see if this works. So it's going to cut out the stream for a few seconds, but I'll come. All right, guys, I think I'll be coming back hopefully any second now. Oh, great, guys. We're back. This is good practice for me as well, because I was always wondering, I've actually ordered a power supply for the camera so I can keep it on forever. Well, not forever, but for a very long time. And I was hoping I could do this during a live stream to change the battery. So if that power supply doesn't come, I had to order it for China because it was sold out all over Sweden, so or all over Europe. So I had to order it from China. It's going to take a few weeks to get here. I'm using a GH5. It's a Panasonic camera. For Micro Four Thirds. Really happy with the camera actually. It's one thing that's terrible at it, and that's the autofocus. It's horrible. It's very slow, and there's so many better cameras for that, but for everything else it's really, really good and quite good value for money. My good camera on Streamline. No music. No music. Is the music on again? The whole thing is blurry. See. Like I said, the autofocus is, hopefully it'll pop back in. You have to trick it a little bit sometimes. Cool. This track is Beautiful Space Girl, it's called. It's a little game music that I made as well. It's a mix between like a piano and a chip style like soft tune. No, not anymore. I don't know which one actually are we referring to. Is it the... Oh, thanks, glad you like the music. It was blurry when the stream came back, okay. Ah, right, okay, so we went to 360, that's okay. Small bitrate, 1080p, great, great to hear that. So, and can you hear the music as well? It says, see, music is still down, it says. Music is back, camera's sharp, everything's fine, great, thanks. So, just shows how newbie I am at this, but maybe I'll get used to it one day. Okay, so should we make some spaceships now, finally? So, let's see. I've got these modules. We'll create a new one called prefabs here. And then I'll just drag the... I wonder if they changed this. I don't think they have. You have to do this manually. So if I drag this, nope, not allowed. You have to drag them manually to create prefabs from these, unfortunately. Which is a pain. I know I made a script as well, an editor script once that did this for me. So you could like block select here and then right click on it and say create prefabs. So if you don't know what a prefab is, it's going to be covered in my big Unity video that I'm planning. I'm going to go through everything about prefabs and why they're great. It's prefabricated objects. And when you make a change to the object, oops, my mistake. Actually drag these into wrong. When you make it, what am I doing? So when you make a change, when they're blue like this and you make a change in the prefab here, then everywhere you've used this object, it'll update that one for you. And that's just one of many things that's really useful with it. So a lot of repetitive stuff in this video, eh? Did that sound Canadian, eh? Is that what they sound? Let's see, let's check out something. Everything's perfect, yeah, great. The delay doesn't help, nope, that's true. All systems nominal, I like that language. So let's see, what I'm using to sort my app on the desktop, I'm using a little app called Fences. So that's quite good, you can do this with it. Create these little things, you can double click on them to roll them up and down. And you can have transparency and scrolly things as well, it's quite useful if you want to organize it. Let's see, Happy to hear there's a Unity video coming. Yeah, I'm really excited about that one. It's going to take a beast of a time to edit it. It's going to take a very long time because it's so much to cover. But I really want to do that one. So make an anchor, like a boat's anchor. No, archer. Sorry, my eyes are terrible. Yeah, that'd be fun. Making an archer, not an anchor. Let's see. Does a material with just one color in Unity require that much space? Not sure what you mean. My texture is only 8 by 8 pixels now, so it's really small for this 64 colors. Where do you live? Sound, let's see, yes, they do sound like that. Okay, 20 minutes from Canada. Sorry, didn't mean to offend anyone, by the way. It's just, I think I've heard that thing. Will you be coding flight controls? I'll probably just do some simple movement for now. So, fences, R to rotate. Tommy Sedin, vad gör jag uppe så här sent? So that means, what am I doing up this late? And this is actually prime time for me. It's only 1:50 a.m. and I tend to stay up till about 2, 3, 4, or even 5 o'clock. So this is nice and quiet. The kids are asleep. So let's see. Hoping to see complex particle systems exported to Unity. I don't really export particle systems from Blender, actually. I do everything particle stuff I do in Blender or in Unity by native stuff, really. So let's see. How adept are you at Painter and Designer? Okay. Yeah, Designer I'm really familiar with. I've done a lot of my procedural textures, and for both the planets and the nebulas and stuff like that, I do in Designer. I really like that program to create textures. Painter, not so much, but I've done it a little bit, but I have to refresh. I've got a subscription for it. So I really like that method of texturing. So I'm hoping to be able to do a really detailed spaceship or a whole series of them at some point. That'd be fun. New developers, let's see, I should bring this up again so at least it's not just an empty space. Yeah, it's cool that Unity is free and everything like that. It's super cool that people can use it. I have every Unity. Oh yeah, I know. Check this out. Do you know, if you're curious why I've got so many Unity versions, that makes no sense probably to most people, but since I do assets and I have to maintain them for different versions, I have to make sure that I fail at it a lot of the time because they release so many versions of Unity. So I have to like test the assets, my procedural planets and space stuff in all of these different versions. And I actually have more older ones as well, like version 4, but I don't support that anymore. So, thanks Anders, or Anders Langemyr, I guess it's Anders. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for everyone who's subscribing. Have you tried the texture painting in Blender? A little bit I've tried it. Not enough, so I want to do that again. Spike. Cool. Glad you caught me live. So, just a noob, but a very grateful noob. Well, to be honest, I'm pretty much a noob at most stuff. I do a lot of different things, so I'm still a noob at pretty much everything. I just tend to be stubborn and keep doing it over and over again. So, let's see. So, we don't want Blender anymore. I need to go back into Unity here. So let's, we created prefabs out of these. We can just delete those. And then let's move this directional light up a little bit and out of the way. So let's create our first spaceship now. How long have I been streaming? About 2 hours, and I still haven't created a single spaceship. Have I missed anything? Oh, hello, Alex Rack2 Dev. He's one of my admins in the Discord. Thanks, really appreciate your work, helping me out there. So I've posted it on Discord that I'm streaming, so I don't know how many people saw it. So cool. So let's just bring something in now. We'll create some modules here. Let's just bring the cockpit in as well. What should we do? Let's do, and then here let's do core. Let's bring that one in. There. Rotate, R to rotate. What should we do? This is why I actually like the 10-minute challenges, because it just forces you to push ahead and do stuff. You don't have to think so much. Let's create, I guess this could be the player's ship, so what should we do here? We'll do this flat thing as well. Is that what I just put in? Yeah. So we'll do another body. Let's bring a wing in. To do a different wing actually, something with some more detail, maybe 3. That one. And then we'll do here I'll have to do this since it's a separate object. I'll have to bring the right counterpart in, and then sometimes I do this. I child that one onto that one, and then I reset the position so they end up in the same place, and then I bring it out from there so it's not child friendly. I noticed that. So it's not a child anymore, and then I just flip this X position to there, and that way it's mirrored and it's positioned correctly. Okay, let's see some stuff here. This is actually the first ever Imphenzia live stream I'm in. Well, this is only my second live stream ever, so you've only missed one opportunity before. So, let's see. What's the story behind your channel name? Imphenzia. I actually came up with that name in 1997, I think. It was back then Google, I don't think Google existed, it was web crawler or like Alta Vista or something, and I put something random in that I just banged on the keyboard, and it turned out to be Imphenzia, and it had 0 hits on the internet, so I thought this is going to be a good way to keep track of what I'm doing. So then I knew if I hit something on the search engine, it was likely to be something that I've created. Funny I should say that, because I've actually not got Imphenzia as my YouTube login, because someone took that one before me. So my channel name is /Imphenzia, but my Imphenzia, or my YouTube account is Imphenzia Music. So I started a space program in 2010, quit work on it in 2013. Cool. Glad it's a brave move to quit your job. I've done that previously, and I've done it now as well to do the RTS game. Super scary, and it's a brave move to do, and you have to be aware that stuff will, sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but you can always go back hopefully. So I'm really impressed that you did that. Cool stuff. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I actually misinterpreted that. You said you quit working on it in 2013, not that you quit work like I did. Well, I'm still impressed. So. Let's see. Hello, Imphenzia. I love your videos. Unknown here. Helps me to learn things in 3D in general from France. Sorry, I'm trying to read through as quickly as I can. So I'm really happy again that it can help out so many people. So I'm really thankful for that, both in Blender and Unity. Can someone share the Discord link? Check out my video history. If someone's got it at hand here, please feel free to paste it. I don't know if you can actually paste it. It might be blocking that. So let's see, which track is this? Here's another piano song that I made for my kids as life unfolds. Let's see, Alta Vista. Well, whoa, do I feel old now? Well, I do too, so that's okay. We are old, yeah, but that's okay. Oh yeah, 33.6 keyboard, I guess, modem. My first modem that I had a 2400, no, I had a 1200 as well with it. And I also had a 300 that you put the phone in. That was old. That was the first modem I ever used. Let's see. How I came up with a ninja guy. It's actually an alien, like an alien guy. I guess it looks a little bit like a ninja. I drew it on a piece of paper and I turned it into vector, and it's been my logo since 1997. So, Harold, you learned Blender free and fast. Yeah, that's great. Well, Blender is free as well, so it's my way to give back a little bit to the community. So, trying to remain active and work. Interactive. Can't even read. Sorry. So, trying to remain interactive and work. Cool stuff. Let's see. How I would go about to create color variations of the ships. I'd swap out the texture probably sometimes. Sometimes I do the modules that I create different modules so I can reuse the same texture. The benefit of using the same texture it really pushes the last bit of performance that you can out of Unity, because any objects that use all of these modules now, they have the same object. So when you render something, it'll batch it. So if we press play here, it won't look like much now. But if we check on stats here, you can say this is a bit odd. Okay, it's because I've got shadows and stuff enabled probably. I'm surprised that save by batching is -19. Because one of the benefits with I wonder if that's a bug or if I'm just thinking about, maybe it's because I've got post-processing on. Switch that off. Check here. No, still. So anyway, when you use the same material, it usually boosts the performance a lot. So if you can, try to use the same materials. But if you wanted to recolor the ships, like you could have different palettes. Oh, Orkun. Am I idle? This is the first time I've been someone's idle. Thanks. Feels a bit strange. Let's see. You should get some sleep, yeah. I should get some glasses as well, because that's why I can't really see. So here's a chiptune, guys, that I made. It's called Platformer. When did I start using Blender? About 5 years ago. Let's see. Good luck with the Unity projects, thanks. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, sound effects tutorial, that'd be fun. Or at least one in a month. That'd be fun, actually. I haven't recorded a lot of sound effects lately. I actually love making sound effects, both editing them and going out with my microphones and my field recorders to record source material. It's a lot of fun. Garbage PC, yeah, only 1,000 frames. It's funny, I speak about performance and I'm sitting with like objects with like a few triangles and the most simple textures. It's a bit stupid. Okay, so let's continue with this. Here, if you wanted to rotate these a little bit, maybe we'll do it on the Z. Like that. This is the benefit of having the pivot point in this part of the wing instead of centering it in the object, because now when we rotate it around the Z, you could actually animate these as well. You probably wouldn't want it to flap like this. That looks stupid. But if I rotate that one down like that, we can do this one. We had to invert this one, I think, because you don't want to have it like this. Do minus there. But then here is another cool thing with this. If we were to child, let's put an engine here. So let's slap the engine 1. It's a bit big. Let's child that one onto under in that wing and reset here. Then we can move this one out. We'll switch this pivot point here. That's a bit surprising, actually. Feels like when they changed the... I wonder if I have to upgrade the version. So pivot point. I'm expecting this gizmo to change when I switch it to local. I'm not sure why it doesn't do that. That's the whole point of this gizmo, that when you switch it to local, it should align it. Oh yeah, sorry. It's because it is... like I said, like someone said, I should really get some sleep instead of... Let's put that on there. And then we can scale this one down a bit. So this is not a problem to scale. We can just do R to scale. How stupid is that? Not the same keys as in Unity, but there we go. That could be an engine there, for example, down there. And we could... So here's the beautiful thing. When you child something in Unity here, then if you rotate this, or E to rotate, sorry, then that child is really good. It stays down there. So let's duplicate that one, put that on this, and then now we need to, let's see, what do I need to do here as well? Just flip this one. Okay, I have to think now. Okay, let's do this instead. I'm thinking something. Oh yeah, it's because that one is... Okay, I have to think. Why is this one? So copy that one. That should be in the right place. Copy this location. And then do take away that one. There we go. should pretty much cover it, so that's alright. Okay, let's check out some stuff. I know your sound effects pack and they're awesome. Cool, I hope to update that. I feel ashamed now because the universal sound effects that I've released, I want to add lots of sound effects to it, and I've recorded a lot of stuff, but I haven't updated it for a very, very long time, and it really needs updating. I really want to add some stuff to it. I just have to get around to it. Let's see, I didn't know that I could not crash Unity. I'm not sure what you mean by crashing Unity by if you use the same material often. Next low poly racing episode coming out. Yeah, I'll have to release that project so you guys can see it, but it's containing, I can't really release it in a way because I can release a lot of it, but it's using, the skid marks are using something that I just found on GitHub, so can't really release that part of it. So, but I can release the rest probably. Can you have different metallicness and smoothness for the different colors? Yes, you can. Let's see, if you have the palette here, let's see, we've got the common material here, metallic map here. We could actually put in, if you create a separate, so, well, I can't really zoom in because it goes so blurry now, but if you create one here, a different texture with the same layout, then you could, let's see, then you can have the metallic map on a separate texture. You just put whatever you want to shine. You put the metallic map to cover that. Hope that makes sense. Turn off local. How do you mean? Should be alright, I think. Oh, okay, so you mean for the positioning. Thanks. Yeah, that would have worked. Thanks. Have you used the high poly normal maps? Yes, I have. Sometimes when I made some spaceships and some characters in the past, I do the low poly version first, and then I do a really, really, really high poly version. And then I bring it into Substance Painter, and I bake that high poly version into a normal map and ambient occlusion and things like that. So I should really do a tutorial for that. I got a tutorial where I do that on a stone block. So maybe I released it about a year and a half ago or something like that. I think I actually covered the entire process there as well. Yeah, that's right. It's because the transforms relative to the parent. Just missed that one. So thanks. Would it help if you compile the model in Blender first? Yeah, it could probably help, but I like to keep the modules separate. I actually made an editor. If you watched my last video or a couple of videos ago, I had, if you watched the Spaceship video, I made a Spaceship editor. So this whole interface, I actually took care of all the mirroring and the rotations. So if you added a module and then positioned it, it did the other side automatically for you. So that was quite good. But I think I prefer to just keep them in Unity like this. I know it's a little bit tedious in the beginning, but it's quite useful. So let's actually bump up this metallic, maybe like this. You could, it's a, whatever you feel, I guess, looks the best. We should change the camera now as well. So here, let's reset this one. Let's see, this track is, oh yeah, that's the one. I've said that one before. I play the piano, but I can't really play these. When I compose these tracks, I can't really do them in one go. I keep pressing the wrong keys and stuff. So I've played this on the piano and I recorded it, but I had to do it in multiple stages. My brain flips out a little bit when it needs to do stuff in sequence. It's like I get nervous. The closer I get to completing something, especially if I'm playing the keyboard, then I start freaking out and I hit the wrong key in the end. So I'm impressed by those people that play piano without suffering through that. Oh yeah, cylindrical collider, probably. You're right. But I'm going to keep it square just for now, to save some time. But I agree, it could have been a cylinder. Is Unity hard to learn? Then I'd say, compared to other game engines, I'd say no. So I definitely recommend starting with it. And I'm going to create, if you missed that part earlier, I'm going to create a really beginner's course in Unity. It's going to cover all the basics. So come back then. Okay guys, this is the most recent track I've made. So I made music a lot before. This one is called restitution, and I made this. It was 7 years between my previous trans track and this one. I made this one last year actually. There are no cylindrical colliders, but there are capsule colliders actually. So RAS, you could use a capsule collider instead. Oh, cool! You can close music too. Yeah, it's fun. I've not tried Go.no. I haven't, so I should try that at some point. If all the parts of the ship are separated, could you add? Oh yeah, that's right. That's one of the really benefits when you have the separate objects. That I really like that part. I actually made. Check this out. I'm actually remaking something nearly that I've done a while back. Let's bring this up. itch.io. Let's see. I'm gonna bring something up on the screen here. So here's my itch.io page, imphenzia.itch.io. If you check this one, then I made, here's a few of the games that I made in the past. This one is very, very old. If you're into 2D racers. I was going to make a multiplayer version out of this, but these were all hand-drawn in Photoshops, these tracks. So you can download this one, but I don't know if it runs on modern computers. I've done some beatball, like this one, if anyone's... I released this one in 1999. It's an Arkanoid clone, and it got published in a German magazine. That was a lot of fun. It was... I still get mails today that people are saying like, "Oh, I used to play this game when I was a child," and then I realized how old I am. So that's fun. But here, let's go. What I was going to show. Yeah, this one. Blood Money. Did this one. So check this game out. This is very similar to what I'm sort of making now. And I think I made these ones that work. I'm going to use code. Power-ups are actually so powerful that they destroy it, so you have to save up to it. But that's the good thing, like I said, about the models. That if you keep them separate, then they're quite useful. Let's see. Yeah, right, recalculating normal in some blenders, that's right. The whole Unity and Unreal, I think it's whatever engine works for your needs. I'd say it's so easy to get started with Unity that I'd recommend that for beginners. I want to learn Unreal Engine myself at some point because I think in terms of performance and scalability and reliability, I think it's got the upper edge at the moment. So, but I think the learning curve is so tough on that one. So remember that one. Managed to pull off a 20-minute run. That's cool. That if you play this that game, by the way. You should try it because it really flips out in the end. I made that for a Ludum Dare game, and I tried to scale it so that it wouldn't go extreme, but see the amount of bullets that you can fire. It's after about 20 minutes, the whole screen is just filled with bullets. So I had to check. I actually have performer cars. That was, wow, cool. So dead. That's impressive. It's unfortunately I could never release it in a state that I wanted. I wanted to make multiplayer and I wanted to make it into a complete game, but in the end I just had to release it. So okay, so let's see. So I've got a bunch of modules scattered out now. So like I said before, the cool thing now with the wings is that if you rotate them, they're like this. But let's create an empty here and then name this player. This could be the player spaceship, and then I'll put these in 0, 0, 0, and then just drag these in as children to this one, and then we have the player ship here. Rotate. And then I should probably move all these modules. I'll just block select these, I'll press W and move it so that the rotation is pretty much around. That looks pretty natural. Oh yeah, it looks like this here because we've got fog on. So I should change that. We can go to post-processing volume. At least I thought so. Is it on the main camera? They've changed this. So I have to really do a lot more in Unity with this universal render pipeline. It's quite confusing to me still. So I have to fix that. lighting, fog. There's the fog. We can disable that one for now. And then camera. If you wanted to have it like a 2D game, pretty much, then we could you could consider switching the camera here to orthographic. So go back to the inspector here, and instead of projection here, you use orthographic, and then change the size here. Then basically, if you put the spaceship, let's bring it down a little bit again. If you put the spaceship over here, you can see that it's still a top-down render. So whereas with a normal perspective one here, if we do this, then you can see that you see the spaceship from the side there. So it's a matter of taste, like what personal preference. I'll keep it in perspective for now, but if you wanted that like retro Amiga style top-down look, you could consider using it in orthographic mode. All right, Marius, I understand. Yeah, it's past 2 a.m. here. Have a good sleep. Hi, ML. Let's see. Is anybody even paying attention to what he's saying? I've got no idea. But if you do, that's great. If you don't, that's okay too, if you're just hanging out. Let's see. So we've got this player ship there. Let's bring it back to 0. Can't see the ship. No, it's so tiny, actually. It's super tiny here. Here's the game view now. So could can rotate this one. Let's do a side scrolling type. So we'll rotate it around the y-axis 90 degrees. Put it there. I'm going to keep it quite small like this. So some of the best looking 2D games I've ever made in Unity. I think it's really nice that I used to make 2D games, or at least stuff that maybe was never released, like that Performer Cars. And the problem with 2D games is that with the lighting, if you rotated a static image of a car, for example, then the lighting turned out wrong. That's why it's so nice to do it in 3D. But because when you rotate it now, I should rotate that one, then the lighting is quite good. So change this a little bit down there. See, there's still a long Unreal versus Unity engine discussion going on. Good luck. There's both engines are really good, I'd say. And let's see. Okay, so what should we do? Another thing we could, I'll just jump back into Blender really quick now, because one thing that could be quite cool to do in a game like this is if you wanted to have, instead of just a black background like this, we could go back here into Blender. Let's hide those and add another cube. Let's see, there we go. Actually, I should Shift C to bring that back. Shift A, cube, delete. Here we go. Now let's just create something random here. I'll do shading, switch this material to the same one. Go back into UV editing, scale 0. Let's make these gray like this. Let's make some objects for the background. So let's see, your webcam screen covers part of the game view. Sorry about that. Ah, I see. That's why you couldn't see the ship. Forgot about that, actually. Good point. Why my models get black whenever I import models from 3ds into Unity. I usually create I usually don't actually export it with the material. I usually create that afterwards. So I create a new material in Unity and I just use the same texture, because usually you want to tweak the settings anyway. So, okay. Oh yeah, what I wanted to say here. For example, we could create some background art now for this. So let's just make some random stuff now. Let's do this. E to extrude that one, S to scale, E to extrude, E to extrude, S to scale, rotate around the y-axis, move it down, E to extrude. Let's just do some random rotate, E to extrude again, rotate Y, E to extrude. It doesn't matter if it's straight or not. Control R for loop cut there. E to extrude. Let's do some other stuff here as well. E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude. Now I feel back in familiar water. It's been, I have to use Unity more again. I've been doing so much Blender lately. Rotate Y, E to extrude. Let's do some weird stuff here as well. E to extrude. E to extrude that one. Control R. I to inset that. S to scale those down. So I'm just going to create something. I don't know if you played like the old Amiga style games, like I think there was one called Iridium and maybe one called Saxon or something. And they had that you flew over like a mothership and stuff like that, or a bigger ship. So I'm just going to create some random stuff here. It doesn't at all matter what it looks like, to be honest. So E to extrude that one. Let's create something here. Just that it's got some character to it anyway. Control R, E to extrude, S to scale, E to extrude. Let's see. Sorry again, guys, if I'm missing stuff in the chat. So some loop cuts. Cancel that. Control R. And we can reuse this same one. I won't do too many of these, so we can reuse these over and over again. Just rotate them and stuff, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. Maybe like that. Some loop cuts there. I to inset, E to extrude. Control R. Again, it doesn't really matter as well how many polygons this is. Still, in the grand scheme of things, it's so few anyway. I to inset, E to extrude. Let's create some here as well. E to extrude that one. I'm not mirroring this one or anything. Let's see. I to inset, E to extrude. Monolith from Space Odyssey. I'm not sure what I'm creating. I'm just creating some sort of a platform that could be panned underneath the spaceship to make it a little bit maybe like you're flying in a... You could also create some turrets and stuff like this and put on... And this one could be quite fun with some stationary objects as well, not only enemy ships. What else? Let's create some thicker parts as well, shall we? Doesn't have to be... we can go a bit crazy with this. I to inset, E to extrude. Could be like big cargo containers or something. It'll be, if we're running it in perspective mode, it could look quite cool when you've got stuff that's running a lot further down like this as well. I to inset, E to extrude, scale, E to extrude. It'll make sense hopefully soon if we see it in Unity. So E to extrude that one. Alt E to extrude along normals. I accidentally pressed Control S there, which was good. I saved it. E to extrude that one. Okay, should we settle for this soon? I'm starting to think that you're getting the point. There's no science to this. Let's do this as well. So some Alt, let's do I to inset, Alt E, extrude along normals. You could have some of this animated as well, I guess. Let's get a few things like this as well. Right, inset. So I should have probably had some different colors as well, but we'll have to make do for now. Or I can do a few things like this maybe. Should we do, maybe I should do something with a glowing thing as well. Let's do, so this is going to be one thing. We can just play around with this and see how it goes. Let's export this one. Let's call it BG ship. And then, right, let's do Control S to save it. Export FBX. Selected object, FBX unit scale, and then do BG for background ship. I'm going to try have a look in a chat in a second here. Let's have a look now, actually. So, like a battle cruiser. Yeah, like a wrecked one, probably, at the moment. Let's see. Still a lot of Unreal versus... good luck with that debate, guys. Which one's best? I think they're both good. Like I said, let's see. Not a lot of Unity items in your Patreon. Will you add some? Yes, I should really do that. I should do that. Thanks, guys. Or thanks, John. I'll try to keep that in mind to add some Unity stuff there. Let's see. Okay. Yes, this stream will go on YouTube. As far as I know, it'll be there automatically. So. Okay, let's, I've exported this one. Let's go back into Unity now. We should see that one here. Let's bring it in. And it's pink because I dragged the mesh in here, this sub-mesh thing. So let's put the common material on it. And it's a bit shiny, so we can actually duplicate this one and do another material. Let's call it BG for background. Reduce the shininess. Oh, I have to actually move this one onto it as well. So BG ship. And then we can make it darker. Then I'll just slide this color down, I think, as well. Like this. We can probably scale it as well. Like this. So now if you were to have here, let's bring it down. I can just Control D to duplicate that one. E to rotate again. W like this. All right, so under 12 hours. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. I can scale this one up a bit. So you could make a whole bunch of modules like this one as well. But another good thing is now that you can Control D and then just rotate it. Hold the Control key to snap rotate. Rotate, Control key. You don't have to do it by 90 degrees and stuff either, but maybe something like this. Here it could be fun as well to play around with the fog. Let's have this ship move a little bit. So, ever thought about doing a paid Blender Unity training course? I've thought about it, but for now I won't, because I want to just try to grow my channel and have more people to be able to learn and see it. But if I get a lot more subscribers in the future, I might add in like a paid course in the future sometime. But I don't really have any plans for it at the moment. So this could use some more detailed textures. Yeah, you could do. Sometimes I like to keep the eyes from being distracted, but I agree, you could add more details to it, and you could also add a lot of colors. Here's a good thing. If you in Blender now, let's say we wanted to add some more details to this. Let's do that. Let's Control R it a little bit. I to inset that one, E to extrude down quite a bit. Let's do some more here. I to inset E, I to inset E to extrude up there. And then now we could let's do circle select. Nope. A few of those. And then maybe them. Let's do G here. Make them dark. Actually, I should change all of these, and instead of having the other one colored, I should do maybe like that instead. You could also do, we could play around a bit maybe with some emission. Should I do that on this one? Let's do it. So let's say we wanted to have, where should we put it? let's do something with a slant here. So I to inset, E to extrude, S to scale, move it to the side a bit like this. E to extrude that one, S to scale. Maybe here we can do I to inset that one, Alt E to extrude long face normals in. Let's make that on a sci-fi pink. Is there such a thing? It's like the old school. But let's make this pink stuff glow so we can make it in a few places. Let's also do, here we can do Control B to bevel that one. I to inset, E to extrude. Let's make that pink as well. If anyone remember with the CGA games where you had 4 colors, you had black, white, cyan, and pink. So you had this color, roughly, and you had that color to play with. Those were the days. But the games were good. I remember. I thought so. I to inset, E to extrude. Make that black. Let's make this black down there as well. Because now I should be able to switch on emission for these. So I can also do it here. I to inset. Okay, so let's try to do an emissive material here as well. I need to, here's a good thing now. If I export this one, export FBX, I just overwrite this one now. Pang. And then it's already imported into Unity automatically. That's really nice when you oversave it. But now we can brighten up the material a little bit again. So maybe to there. And we can make these glow a little bit as well. But for that to happen, I need to create a separate emission material here. So when you're extruding, are you looking at local or global? I do a little bit of both. Sometimes I extrude in local and sometimes I do it in global. Let's see, Imphenzia, do you make the art for the RTS? Is it low poly as well? Christian asked. Yeah, I'm making the art at the moment. And at the moment it is quite low poly, but with the details, the units are so small. So when they're low poly and you compress them, it actually turns out like they're quite detailed, but they're really tiny, the units. So it works pretty good. And then I created a procedural generation of a world. So it's a 3D map that's generated. Imagine the way the other RTS games work, for example, Civilization, or not, it's not a RTS game, but that style of map where you have a generated world, basically. So I use a mesh for that. So that's not really low poly. That's about like 1 million polygons or something. So I'll put all of my Blender files from all the tutorials in the tutorial tier on my Patreon. So it's just to keep the track a little bit of some of them I've released free as well, and I don't really mind releasing them for free, but I want to be able to give some extra back to those who can do the Patreon. So, but otherwise it should be quite easy to replicate this stuff. You probably want to, it's just E to extrude S to scale about the 10 billion times. I'm going to start Photoshop because I need to do an emissive texture. And you could use any program. I just happen to, I have to pay for the Creative Cloud subscription because I use so many different Adobe products. Costs a lot, unfortunately, but since I've been doing assets and selling them, I've justified that cost. I use Premiere, After Effects, Dreamweaver, Photoshop, Illustrator, and Audition. I'll probably use other ones as well. Lightroom a little bit, I do. So let's bring this palette in. So this is the way this palette looks. And now I want to make this one emissive. So I'll just duplicate this layer. And then I'll color everything. Oh, my palette. I'm running off screen here. So here we go. Let's just block select these. And I only want to make that pink one shine for now. So let's fill that one in. Black. Control Alt S to save it as a PNG file. And then let's save it here. D. Save it in the right place. So here, let's do emissive. Hopefully that should work. And now if we go into the BG one here, we should be able to localize that emissive map. And it's still not emissive. That's stupid. That's not the metallic map I'm supposed to do. It's this emission map. Okay, I have to enable it first. Emissive. Hello, enable. It's glowing a little bit now, but we can boost this one. Intensity. There we go. We've got some glow. And this is with the default render pipeline settings as well. It's already got, if you look at this post-processing volume, it's already got the bloom here. And it's the bloom that makes it glow. Pardon. Let's see. Oh yeah, donation links. I don't even know how to set that up. How do you set that up? Do you use the particle system modifiers for animations? No, actually. How do you mean? I use particle system modifier only to create some random objects, for example, if I want to scatter some stuff, but I haven't tried it for the animations. What do you mean, like smoke or something? Or I sold your firstborn for Adobe subscription. I know it costs absolutely a fortune. I can't really. When I think about it, I think I've paid a Creative Cloud subscription now for like 8 years or something. So I've paid them a lot of money. Is it Sweden you live in? Yep, it is. It's I live in Nynäshamn in Sweden. So let's see. Okay. Sorry if I missed some stuff there. Yeah, the full live stream will be uploaded. I'm gonna keep it definitely under the 12 hours, so it'll be a bit available. I missed the first part of this stream. Only see the modeling. Is it a top-down platformer? This is just something random. I decided to create like a little spaceship, the modular spaceships here, and I just brought it into Unity to see what we could like do just for fun. So here, when we maybe we should create the ship. Should we make it move a little bit as well? Let's create a very rudimentary primitive script here. Script, right click, C# script. Let's call it ship. Okay, and here we can do some housekeeping as well. Create empty, let's call it level. Put it to 0. And then just bring these in there. So then we hide them out of sight, out of mind. Is that what it's called? So got that object there. Player ship, if this one moves there. Yeah. So let's see, what should we do? Oh, I'm not playing any music. Here we go. Now I am. This one I've played before. It's the decimation thing. Oh, here's another decimation track that I made. This game, I don't think they've released it yet. Decimation X4. And it's not available at the moment for the low poly racer, but it will be. I think I have to decide how to release that one, but I can release everything apart from the skid mark stuff because that's a third party, like it gets a free one, so you can download it yourself. I just had to modify it a little bit. So let's see. What was I doing? Oh yeah, we could create, first of all, let's make the ship move like we said. So here, player ship. Okay, I'm gonna do super basic scripting here. So I'm not gonna follow too many conventions or rules here. I'm just gonna make it work. So here, let's just create a public speed variable, public float movement speed, maybe 50 for float. And then in update here, we don't need that one. Let's do transform, translate to move it. And then we're gonna do a side scrolling shooter, so we'll do vector 3 left. input get axis, and we'll do the vertical axis because I'll use the up and down keys to move it, and then we have to multiply it by time, delta time, to make it frame rate independent, and then multiply it by the movement speed. So let's see if this works. And we've got the ship there. Okay, so I'm moving the camera now. That's good, isn't it? So I have this script enabled. Let's see, we can just disable that one. This one's a default script that Unity has. Okay, I haven't set up the axis. But okay, if I could spell it, we did. Vertical. Vertical. Okay. Oh yeah, so up and down. Now I can just move it up and down at least. So see, it's a bit laggy like this. So if I release the key, and that's because the default settings here, if you want it to be more direct, you can go to Project Settings, Input Manager, Axis, and then on the vertical, I was operating now. Then it's this gravity and sensitivity. You could just boost this one up if you want more directed, maybe 300 and 300. Let's try that. Need some of your music on Patreon too. Actually, all my music is on Patreon, pretty much. I think nearly every track. So on my Patreon, from the, I forgot which tier it is. I think it's the $2 tier, but you can download all the music from there. It's over 10 hours. So. And it's on Spotify as well if you want it for free. So I haven't tried the new input system yet, Christian. I have to do that. I've been waiting for it for many years because I've been fed up with the old system. And then when it finally was released out of preview, I still haven't tried it, so I need to do that. Oh yeah, sorry. Control L, yeah. I agree. Faster ways to delete it. So I have to try to use the new input system. I agree. So now it's much more direct if you wanted to. I should make this spaceship smaller again as well. So I can just do that by moving the camera back again, maybe. Like this. You could also, let's see, if you wanted to fake, there's many ways to do this, but we could create a particle system here. Create empty star. Let's just call it stars. Particle system. And here we could just do, let's see, zoom in, rotate it, hold Control key to snap it. Let's change the shape here to box. And then the size to, see, it'll be the Z. Nope. Y. Okay, so what's going on? Oh yeah, it's somewhere far, far away. Okay. Z. Okay, excellent. Like this, we'll just make it fit the screen somehow. Move to there, change the particles to default particles maybe here. Default particle. It's so tiny you can't even see it. And then let's move it down. Sorry about this song, guys. This is a very old chip style music song that I made. It's very short, so. Let's see. Okay, that's cool. That's a good tip there, Christians. About the Unity talk. I'm actually going to try to watch that one myself, so I'll Google, I'll search for it. So let's move it down to there. Yeah, so obviously it wouldn't make any sense for the stars to move like this fast, but again, it's like an arcade style game, so we're okay with it. So speed, lifetime, maybe 20 seconds, 100 seconds. Let's change the emission speed to 2. 4 maybe. 2. And then let's move this one. Where should we put it? Just have to put it out of the sight there, like this. Normally I'd consider different ways to do this. Sometimes I'd probably create a custom particle system, but it takes a while to do that. So I'd probably have a custom script that spawns the particle instead of animating it like this. This is just to get like a little look of a star field. And then we should probably move it at least so it's below this bottom one here. And then in that case, we have to increase the size of the particles quite a bit. So they're a bit bigger. So what size are we at here? We're at 6, so maybe 2. And then we have to make this one wider again, the emission. Like that. And then we can move it to here. Let's see, we need to make them live longer again. 200 seconds. And then we can do some random colors here as well. So random between 2 colors, start color, any of these, so they go a little bit darker. And then we'll do start size random between 2 constants, maybe 1 and 3, 1 and 4. So there we go. Okay, and if it doesn't start like this straight away, then you could do, for the star system here, you do pre-warm, and that way it'll play automatically when you press play. Let's see. Bacon in Minecraft. Ska inte du gå och lägga dig? Jo, I should go to bed, but I'm not going to do that for a while. It's 2:45 a.m. here. Let's see. Do you ever make an ambient occlusion map for your low poly models? I've played around with that. I'd probably do it for static objects that I could, where I'm not texturing the way I am. It's quite cool to do the ambient occlusion maps to get them to look a lot better from shadows and stuff. So I could definitely do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fun to import the Star Destroyer. I could probably do that. Oh yeah, C64. I like a lot of the old C64 games. Or music, sorry. So, hope your area is pretty free from COVID. Well, I'm in Sweden, so we're not doing a very good job. They're trying to come up with all sorts of excuses why we're every day I hear, oh, we've hit the peak now, we're on our way down, and then yeah, we're still at the peak, we're on our way down now. So it's amazing that they get away with the way they're doing it. Our neighbors are doing really good. Norway, Denmark, and Finland. Good job, guys. Okay, what am I doing? So we got the star system there. That's okay. We could also try to get. What should we do? There's 2 ways you can do it. You could have the background pan, or you could have the spaceship pan. It's which one you prefer. Let's just create a really simple script here called what should we call it? Translator. And let's bring that one up here. Can you create a nuke explosion effect? Probably could. A combination of... I like to create explosions with... if I do low poly games, I like to use a particle system, and I use a mesh, and then I use emission on it to create quite cool explosions. So I could probably... I won't have time to do it in this video, but I should probably cover that in a tutorial. If it can translate Chinese, probably not. It's going to translate the object sideways. That's a good question. Let's just do vector 3 here, speed, or translate. And then we'll just do void update here, and then do transform translate, and then we'll do translate times time.delta time. And this way del, okay, thanks. like I said, like someone said, I should be sleeping now. Oh, thanks, Game Dev tier on Patreon. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the support. Really appreciate it. For each 10-minute video, can you make? Let's see. You should make one where you teach us how to do it. I've been thinking about that actually. So every time I've thought about that many times that I should make the 10-minute video, have some fun with it, and then re-record it and then do a tutorial out of it. It's a really good idea, and I was hoping to do so, but I haven't been able to get around to that one just yet. Christian, love the stream. Thanks. Even though I hate it since it makes me feel lazy. Okay, don't worry about that. I have days where I just tend to like zone out, and I'll play a game, or I'll like watch YouTube, some random weird videos for about hours, and then I feel guilty. So don't worry about it. Just pick it up whenever you feel like you're inspired again. Sometimes as well, I should mention, as many of you know, I do a lot of different things, probably way too many things. So I do music, sound effects, development, coding, 3D graphics, 2D graphics, some web development. I do like so many different things. And what I've learned first, I felt really guilty because I'd spend a lot of time, and then, like, let's say I made music for 2 weeks, and then suddenly I felt, I wasn't interested in it. And then I'll try to force myself to do music, and then it didn't turn out any good anyway. So what I've learned, I'll just let that go then. I'll just drop music for a while, and then I'll focus on whatever else comes that's quite fun to do at the time, and then I'll just take advantage of that period. Maybe I'll like it for 2 weeks or 1 week or a month or sometimes 3 months. I'll really focus on it. As long as I'm interested and I feel like in the mood to do that, I'll just focus on that, and then I just pick it up. So it's a problem if you're like paid to do something, like a freelancer or something like that. Then obviously you have to do what it is that you've got to do. But if you since I've been doing this as a hobby, it's been really working pretty good. That I could just okay, I'll do assets for 3 months. I'll do some music for 2 months. I'll do sound effects for like half a year. So I call it just like waves of creativity, and I'll learn to not fight that. I'll just do whatever I feel is like most fun at the time. That's probably why I haven't released so many games yet. But hopefully this RTS game is going to happen, because we've put 4,000 hours into it. So it's going to be released. That's no question. And we're not bound to like a publisher or anything like that. And we're both really eager to work on it. So that's not really a problem. Oh yeah, so Patreon, I should actually, can I update the description right now? I should really have like a little mini overlay maybe. I'll put it here. Shameless plug here. So let's see. Hello from France, hello from Sweden. Just joined, what are you creating? I was just making I remade some modules in Blender, some modular spaceship stuff, and then I created some background art stuff, and then I've just imported that into Unity and making like a little space shooter thing. But I haven't really I've spent most of my time just talking random stuff. So I'm gonna make a proper tutorial about this someday instead. So what I was doing here, I created this little translator script. I can move that. You can decide whether you want to move the ship or the level. And since I've made the stars here static, you could, if you wanted to make a forced, like an endless runner type of scroller, or not a runner in this case, but an endless scroller, then you could actually pan this whole thing. And then let's move it in maybe 5 or something. Let's press play. Hello, Canada. Robert. Okay, it's reversing now. That was no good. So it's an easy fix. Just put -5 there. So, and now we've got, basically you could just keep it like this if you wanted to make a super simple shooter. Just, but we should actually implement sideways movements. But let's force the panning. So you pan, the spaceship is in the same location as if it was just playing on a single screen, but we just pan the background. So it's, you can do it in any way. Okay, this track, guys, is Spirit Within You. I made this one for my daughter Emilia when she was born. Spirit Within You. I picked if people have been wondering over these names why I picked some. I'm not really a religious person, but I've named like the tracks after the kids like spirits and stuff, so it's a bit weird maybe. Okay, let's see. Ship. This is actually one of my favorite tracks that I made. So let's bring this up to here. I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna put it a little bit louder. Hopefully it won't block me out. But so this is one of my favorite tracks that I made over the years. Okay, let's do horizontal here as well. This one exists in a trance version and a piano version as well, this track. So try to add movement like Skyforce. How does that work? Skyforce. Is it up I have to do here? I do a lot of stuff by trial and error, by the way, so don't think that I get it right the first time. I tend to just, instead of think, I'll just test it. So if it moves in the wrong direction now, I know that I did it wrong. Okay, so that was stupid. It's moving up and down now. So instead of being lazy, I should probably just think what I should type. But I guess it's forward then. Gotta go, glad to stop by. Thanks, MiniOps12. Glad you could catch it. Thanks. Whenever that happens, yeah, I'm not sure when I'm gonna live stream again. At some point, I will. Okay, we got it right. So now we've got some movement here. Okay, and then another thing we could do is add some fog, actually. Maybe we can introduce that one again. It could maybe look quite cozy. So let's go back into lighting, fog, and then we can't have it like that. Actually, I'm going to change the background color instead of being pure black. Let's make it into like a deep blue, like this. And then now let's bring the lighting fog. Let's see what can we do with this. I have to change the settings here because it's blocking it out too much, but let's see. We can do linear fog maybe. And then start, we can bring it down to there. And then end, we'll bring it up. Don't know if this is a good idea at all. Probably not. This is not working, is it? Let's try it. Maximizing. How hard would it make your ship twirl? How do you mean twirl? Okay, here we've got a problem. The background pans about the same speed as the stars, so we should really increase the star speed a bit. So start speed, we should vary the speed as well between two constants, 5 and 10 maybe. Let's do 10 and 15 then. Okay, this still, oh no, it's going under that, that's okay. Let's see, what have we got here? So, oh yeah, okay, so it rotates around its center line. Yeah, you could do. You could just tilt it, so when it turns, it tilts a bit. Shouldn't near objects be faster than... Yeah, I know. As I said before, the stars, it's just an old retro look. But the stars should really be static, of course. But it looks a bit boring if they're static, so I decided to move them a bit. So... yes, the camera is perspective. Let's try to switch that back again now to orthographic. So let's see. That's too bright. I have to disable that a little bit later, but let's see. So this is it sort of loses a lot of it. You'd have to do a lot of other tricks. See how static it looks now. You'd probably need ambient occlusion or something like that, and texture mapping these a lot more different if you were to go for it looks really flat there, so the perspective really adds it. Plus it disabled the fog a little bit. So. Okay, I can turn down the volume a little bit again. Okay, let's see. What else should we do? I should create some shooting, I guess. Check something. Got some error on the side here. Okay, let's see what the chat says here. There we go. Oh yeah, lack of star destroyers. Should probably bring that in. Oh yeah, enemy ships we should do. And we should also. How do I do the emission to the pink? Yeah, I just created a separate texture here. So in the materials here, I've got this emission texture. So it's just got that pink color from the palette. Everything else is black. And then for that material, I just put the emission map there, and I boosted the intensity here. The intensity is important. Otherwise, if you want it to glow, the bloom needs to pick it up. So that's pretty strong. There we go. Don't know if we should disable that fog again. Have to play with that a little bit more at some point. Let's see. Lighting. No, it probably should be on. I don't know. So we should make some shooting, I guess, and then some enemies, I guess. So let's see. We could just create, let's see, what should we do? A bullet. So create empty. And then the bullets can be done in different ways, but let's create one here with a trail render maybe. So add trail renderer, and then we can check like this. See, I minimized the chat by mistake. Yeah. Yeah, there's also post-processing. I'm using the universal render pipeline, so it's got post-processing by default. It's got this bloom thing here. And it's got the vignette that darkens the corners a bit, and it's got tone mapping on to create, oh yeah, to alter the color. These are just the default ones that are on it. So for the bullet here, so it's got a trail render, so if, as you can see when I move it in the viewport, it creates this line, and then it should fade out after, what is it, 5 seconds? But it doesn't seem to fade out for some reason. Let's do 0.2 seconds. So now when I move it, you can see that this trail render just renders like a trail like that. The reason why it doesn't disappear is because Unity doesn't run the update loop in the editor all the time. So it should have really been disappeared now, but it updates it. It can trick you a little bit sometimes. So, oh yeah, glowing capsules could work as well. I like the thing I like with the trail render is that you could really adjust it so you can get really long, fast shots like this. Sound effects there. So, thanks. Thanks for the nice words, guys. Glad you like it. So now we could, let's see, with the trail renderer here, we should create an emissive material for that one maybe as well. So we'll do New material. There we go. And then let's just call it bullet. Maybe we'll do a particle standard on it, maybe. Oh no, we'll just do, what should we do? Yeah, let's try that. And then maybe they could be orange or something. Emission orange. And let's see, where do we set the material here? There we go. Bullet. Okay, no change. Why is it not changing? Let's see. Won't it disappear anyway once you set the collider? But you mean when you hit the collider, or? And then if you destroy the object, it'll disappear. So usually you have to disable the object and then destroy it after it's the trail is faded. That's usually how I do it. So I don't know why the bullets isn't. I've changed the color, so I should really change the material there. Material 1 bullet. Let's change the material. See, you are the tutorial, John. See what you're saying. You are the tutorials we have been missing. No one's working with Blender, focuses on game assets to Unity and Unreal. Well worth a $5 a month backing you. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. So I'll try. I'm realizing now that I've done a lot of Blender lately and not so much Unity, and I'm even noticing, even though I work daily in the RTS game in Unity, I do other stuff at the moment. So I'm realizing, and especially this whole new look and the URP, Universal Render Pipeline stuff, feels a bit foreign to me. So I have to really get my act together. Jason, you're welcome. Glad you like it. So let's see. Let's try to figure out if you. Oh yeah, down here. Bullets. How come this one's pink? It's because I need to apply systems. Is that the stupid thing? There's something weird with this. If you can see it, guys, what it is that's causing this, I'm not sure yet. I have no idea why this is rendering pink. Sometimes I know that it's, let's see, bullet, apply to systems. I think it's for the colors to cover. Let's see, let's press play once. Let's see if it's updated it now. Ah, okay. No, something strange here. Let's see what's the question here is now. So, Imphenzia, have you considered doing in-development content for your RTS game, like devlogs and stuff? Yes, I've been thinking about it for a long time, but we really kept the RTS game under the radar because the RTS game has got. I mentioned this in some of my previous ones, but my co-worker, the guy Christian, his name is, that I'm working with, he found me about a year and a half ago, and he contacted me with a game that he's been thinking about for 20 years, and it's never come to reality. So no one's ever made that game that he's been thinking about, and it's got some really unique aspects to it. And we really wanted to see if the game was worth, like if it was as fun as he had imagined. And now we think it is. We're really enjoying it, but we wanted to avoid copycats. But I know there's a split thing, like you should probably mention it anyway. You shouldn't be too worried about copycats, but we really wanted to keep it under the radar because we really enjoy this game. It's got some really untested stuff in it, so that's why we've not. But when we get closer now in the autumn and closer to the winter, I want to really try to do. We're going to announce the release of it and things like that. So I want to do devlogs and streams and stuff like that about that. So what's the best video to start with for asset creation and Unity dev? Your low poly color eraser. Let's see. Is it enough to get started? Can I just buy the skid asset? The skid asset is free actually. So if you look, just Google Unity skid marks, you probably find it. It's like a free. Some guy released it for free. I just altered it and modified it a little bit to suit my needs. And also the best way to create, to start with asset creation, I'd say if you want to do 3D objects and stuff, I'd recommend my own low poly video at the moment, the 1.5 hours, just to get started in modeling objects. And also I'll be making the Unity tutorial that really gets you acclimatized with Unity, so that'll come out in the next couple of weeks, I think. So Arcano, yeah, that's a good, actually that's a good point. I should mention that one. That's a very good point that you said, Jason, because check this out. Some of you will know this, but let's see. YouTube. I'm just gonna search for something here. Unity. This one, I'd recommend.
Och för er som inte vet vad Swoppy är, så är det ett företag som köper och säljer begagnade mobiltelefoner. Och de köper alltså in begagnade mobil...
Skip ad. Hello and welcome, hope you're having a good week. Hello and welcome. Check this video out. So you can get the... I'm gonna move it into screen out. Here. So search for this one, either you can type it in, here's the URL. So I'll put it in the chat. I forgot that I made this one. Make your first complete game in Unity for beginners. So this is a 2-hour long video, and it pretty much covers everything about your first scripts and creating game states, menus, how to make, and this actually creates like an Arkanoid game in the end. Let's see. So it creates like a breakout clone in the end. Type of animations. You could put like loads of things in there. You could have the so I'd recommend check that video out. Oh, Chris, sorry to hear that. My last, let's see what I just read your first words here. My last game failed after spending 3 years on it. We had a sizable fan base and the game was well received. We failed to market it though. Yeah, sorry to hear that. And it's a real gamble and a big risk, and we're aware of that as well. And to be honest, if ours succeed, I'd be happy, but I have to be... well, I have to realize the fact that it could not be worth the time that we put into it. But at least we'll have a game that we really enjoy playing, so that's quite fun. So I've already got that actually. So you said, like say, Anur Studio, can you create a tutorial about animation and inverse kinematics in Unity? I've got a basic one where it's a cowboy that aims a pistol, so check my channel history. I've created inverse kinematics so you can do a mouse aiming with a pistol, so check that out. So, would love to see that game. Yeah, thanks. I'm so excited to... We want to have more players as well, because we need some more eyes on it. So, hello. Hi, guys. Oh, Space Crawler as well. Welcome back. And JD. And Rob. Oh, Rob as well. Hello. Old-time friend there. Seen you. See, I'm talking a lot now. I haven't done much. I was trying to figure out why this bullet wasn't rendering. So it's still pink, and I've changed the material. I guess it's the shader choice here. So let's change that one to maybe it's something to do with let's do mobile and then do particle. Let's do additive. Will that make a difference? Okay, now at least it's something. Okay, so that was that requires a texture. We don't really want that. So particles. So I'm not allowed to use that for some reason. Okay, let's check. I'll just have to check in one of my previous projects or something. Let's see. Okay, it needs to be a universal render pipeline shader. It still gets me that one. So there we go. Particle, or not particle, maybe just unlit. Color orange. Here's another platformer guy song. It's called Once Up on a Platform. So if you're not into chip music or arcade style music, sorry about that. Sometimes I'm in a mood to make stuff like that, so it just turns out that way. There we go. There's a bullet now. That's orange. So I had to change the shader to universal render pipeline because the old materials aren't compatible. but I want it to boost. Let's see. I want to make it glow. And this shader doesn't support to boost that one, so we need to find another one as well. Universal render pipeline. Particles. Can we do this one? Here we go. Intensity. Oh, that's a bit bright, isn't it? Probably too bright. That could be an explosion. Let's see, I've got some chat stuff that I missed here as well, so let's see. Oh, two-handed weapons like FPS games. Yeah, I'd have to spend a lot of time prepping for that video. I find the two-handed weapon animation to be super frustrating and time-consuming, so but I should try to do that. All right, JD, good night. Good luck with putting your kids to sleep there. Let's see. Oh, John, you're actually a QA tester in real life. Interesting. So, like for games, or? Let's see. Good game ideas hard to come by, yeah, especially original ones. I totally agree. Oh, nice. Good weather in Canada. Here as well, it's been decent. It's a bit rainy now, but it'll pick up soon, I think. So IKAI movement. It's a big topic as well to cover. Maybe sometime in the future I could cover that. So I have to disable that strength now, don't I? So emission map, just lower the intensity to there. Maybe something like that will do. Okie dokie. Oh, this track, Leaving the Outpost, space-themed one that I made. Sorry for going on about the music, but I take the opportunity now to speak about it. So. Oh, great. Okay, so Christian's. So you're a huge RTS fan. That's great. We do need playtesters, and we might be in the position now to recruit a very small number of them who are really dedicated. We need some RTS players that both like really want to play and can play. So and put some time in to do the testing. So give me a shout if you're really dedicated and you really want to play test something and you don't mind signing an NDA. Then hit like. Oh, cool. That's good. That's exactly what I mean, John. We need the NDA, and we need people that can really put some time in to play it. And I'd be happy to play again. We need some new players to start playing against other new players because we're biased, and we need some fresh eyes on it for sure. So you could contact me. Let's see, what's the best way? I wouldn't say mail me because I'm so far behind on my email. I would say, let's see, I'll put a Discord link up here. Let's see, how do I do that best? Let's go here. Discord. Don't switch. Let's see. I need to invite. Let's create an invite here again. So invite people. I'm just creating a new link here because I can't remember what the old one was. So copy, edit, invite link, unlimited use, generate link. Never expire. Here we go. Copy. So I'm going to paste the link now here. So if you are interested to, so the criteria for the RTS testing is that we need the NDA to be signed, and we need someone or some people that are really interested in RTS games, want to play it and have the patience to play an early alpha version of a game. So there will be bugs and issues. We built in some error reporting and bug reporting inside the game, so you can submit reports. But so if you're interested, go to Discord and send a personal message to me in that Discord. I'm just Imphenzia at the top of the list there. So let's see. So I should create some bullets firing now. Okay, that's good. I don't know if everyone loves bugs and writing out defects, but that's great. That's one of the great criteria. So Fry, just found your channels. Your vids have helped me to learn Blender. Great, happy to hear that. So let's see, I should, so we're gonna shoot this bullet now finally. So we create a prefab out of it. Let's see, put position to 0, bullet, let's move it to prefabs. And let's just create a script here called weapon. And I'll just have it fire from the center now, so let's see. Oi, I accidentally said something in Swedish. Oi. Closed it by mistake, so let's see. Okay, we need to create a reference to the bullet prefab. Let's see, public bullet prefab. Then we'll do public float. How many rounds per minute should it fire? So rounds per minute. Let's start with 10. And then we'll, I'm gonna actually pool these bullets, because you shouldn't really be instantiating bullets every frame. So let's make a pool with 1,000 bullets. I should make a tutorial as well to cover about how to do object pooling. So, but I'll do private, let's see, game object. I'll make an array here of bullet pool. And then we'll do private. We'll have a bullet index as well to count where we're at. And then in the start method here, in the mono behavior, we're going to spawn all the bullets. So we'll do bullet pool, new game object, pool size. So we create an array with the pool size number of game objects. And then we'll just for each this one, or we'll do a for loop for int I equals 0, I less than pool size. And then we'll do just increase it by 1. And now we'll just spawn these or instantiate them. So bullet pool I equals instantiate bullet prefab. Okay, so if I can spell. This is handy if you didn't know about it. F2 to rename, so you don't have to do it all over the place. So, well, change all the references as well. Okay, it's good that I can fix a spelling error with another spelling error. So prefab. Okay, and then we should deactivate them. So when we spawn all the bullets in the bullet pool, then we'll deactivate them as well. So I'll just copy that and then do set active false. So when Unity starts the scene now, it'll loop through this and it'll instantiate 1,000 bullets, and then it'll disable all of them. And again, you don't really want to instantiate every time you fire a bullet, because it creates garbage and it can make the game stop and make the frame rate a bit inconsistent. So, and then in update, let's just do something rudimentary, crude. So let's just check. Let's see, if input get key down, we'll just do for now. I know there are predefined buttons in Unity as well, but we'll just do space, key code, space. Then we'll do invoke repeating, because we want to have this fire bullets every, so based on the rounds per minute there. So we'll invoke a method called fire. We'll start straight away, and then the delay will be 60 divided by rounds per minute. Okay. And so when we press key down, it'll start invoke repeating, and when we release space, get key up, key code. So when we release space, we'll do stop. No, we'll do cancel invoke. This track is the piano version of, let's see, Spirit Within You. Oh, I said that before. So I did the calm, chill out version before, and now it's the piano version. Okay, so now we need to create this method as well. So we'll do this fire method. So we'll have to check which index we should use, because we're going to fire the next available bullet in the pool. So bullet index equals, let's see, bullet index pool size 0. This is shorthand for an if statement. Okay, so bullet index will be, if bullet index is greater than pool size, it'll be 0, it'll reset it to 0, otherwise it'll increase bullet index by 1. And then we'll do bullet pool bullet index transform position. Let's see, transform. We need to change the bullets that we instantiated or that we're activating. We'll change its transforms position to the current spaceship's transforms position. We could, or wherever this weapons transform is. And then we'll do the same for rotation here. And then we'll set it to active here as well. Set active true. So now hopefully when we press space, first it'll instantiate all the bullets and hide them, and then it'll check if we start pressing space, it'll invoke this method repeatedly every rounds per minute frequency. And when we release space, it'll cancel this invoke. And every time it hits this one, it should increase the bullet index by 1 until it goes to the max size of the bullet index, or the pool size max, and then it'll reset it to 0, and then it'll put the instantiated version, it'll put it at this position and with this rotation, and then it'll set it to active. So let's see if that works. We need to just assign this one. We can delete the bullet from the scene because we created a prefab out of that one. But then for the player ship here now, we just need to add the weapon script, and the bullet prefab will assign here. Hopefully now, if I did everything right. Okay, nothing happens. Then we can see, so the weapon script is there, the bullet is there. It's got the trail render, everything's there. Player ship, here we go. So then we can see, okay, let's figure out why it's not doing. So let's do some hardcore debugging here. This is not how you should debug, so I'll do it this way. Make sure. You could also attach to Unity and actually go into debug, but I'll just do it the simple way here. Okay, so it is firing. Let's not maximize it. And let's see if it's actually instantiating. All the bullets are instantiated and deactivated, so that looks good. So I press space, okay. And it's actually instantiated them, but it's not moving them. So I've just created static bullets now that aren't moving. So we need to put that translator thing, maybe we'll put on here. We created a little helper script before. So I'll see this script here, translator. Let's drag that onto here. We'll collapse this a little bit. So again, there's a lot better. Maybe should we do a bullet script instead? We need to see if it hits something anyway. So let's just create a new script instead called bullet. Okay, so again, I misspelled it. Okay, I have to check the chat actually. So let's see, we've got a bit to catch up on here. So can you make FPS games? Probably, but it takes a long time, but it'll be fun. So haven't been an actual beta tester in years. Okay, you don't have to be a beta tester to test the game or to apply, but So you're welcome to announce or let me know if you're interested anyway. What's your favorite bread? I've got no clue. Limpa probably. Let's see. Whoa, you blew up on YouTube so quickly. Yee! Yeah, I'm happy about that. It took me 10 years to get 10,000 subscribers, and then I'm up to 80,000 now, so I'm super thrilled. Yeah, I only had 40 not so long ago. March was the best one. I gained like 30,000 subscribers, and then it's funny, my YouTube stats went up like a rocket, and then it just turned straight down again, and then it's been trickling up. And then at the peak there, YouTube had a little notice saying that they changed the algorithm somewhat on the March 25th. It may have slight impact on your views. I went from having a few days I had like 2,000 subscribers a day, and then I dropped to 200 or something. So I'm still happy with it. So that's really cool. Let's see. Don't shoot. You need a license first. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Air dried bread. I've got no idea. That makes us like rye vita or something. So let's see. Cool, Draco. So give me a shout in the Discord if you could join there, and I'll just send me a direct message there. Let's see. Oh yeah, JetBrain Raider. I've checked that one actually back in a few years ago. I had some issues with it, I remember, but I should probably try it again because I like the look of that one a lot. So cool, thanks Christians for sending the message. I'll check that out after. Let's see, what an inspiration. Woo, thanks. Please can you do a tutorial on arrays? I don't get them. Okay, that will come probably in that Unity tutorial that I'm making. So you can do lists as well. Arrays, they're a bit limited in the size and stuff, but I could probably cover that. Let's see. Let's see. Jim Engström, go to bed. I know. Jim is a good old-time friend of mine. I've known him since I was like 10 years old, and I'm 45 now. So, hey Jim, I know I should go to bed. Let's see. In 3 hours. I know it's. I'm actually not progressing very fast at the moment because I tend to do stuff quite awkwardly now, and I spend a lot of time looking in the chat here. So, should the mover script be on this? Oh yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I'm gonna create a custom script here, so I'll instead of using that one because I need to do a raycast to see if it hits something as well. So Chris Delpire, sorry, I'd be interested in beta testing. Used to love. Okay, so StarCraft 2, cool. So again, if you could join the Discord, Chris, let me know. If you could direct message me there, and we can only accept a really small number of beta testers now, or it's not even beta testers, it's like pre-alpha testers, and we have to keep it really, really tiny in the beginning, so maybe 10 or so. So let me know, and then we'll expand that at some point as well. The Bod 76, good night. Yeah, good night. I'll try to not stop making videos, so thanks, good night. 123 people watching at 3:30 a.m. How much more devoted can you be? Yeah, thanks guys. I'm happy to sorry to keep you up if you're in Europe. If you're in the US, it's not even that late, is it? It's like 9 o'clock in the evening or even earlier. So yeah, 22:30. Where's that? That would be like New York or something. Why is Jim not in bed? Yeah, he's a night owl like me. What's the theme or setting of your RTS? It's futuristic-ish, but it's all the units you can clearly recognize their rules that they have in combat in modern warfare. So Eastern, all right, cool. Let's see now. So I should delete this one, and then we'll create a new bullet script here. Let's see, anyone know if using a second UV layer would work for a texture painting on top of the 1P? Okay, love the workflow. Yeah, you could definitely use multiple. Unity nowadays support 8 UV channels, and you can mix and match them with the shaders. You can control if you want to overlay and stuff like that, so that would work. Let's see, along the... I just want to ask one question. Why is my water particle not showing in the final render? Ooh, I don't know. Is it like a unit? If it's... I haven't actually tried Blender Water, so if that's what it is, I'm not sure. It's 2:30 in the afternoon here, but I'm watching the recording 2 days from now. Great job. I like time traveling. So, okay, so the bullet now. Let's make a script for this one. We'll do public float velocity, so the speed of the bullet. Let's do it 100 maybe. Let's set how long it should live. So time to live, 5 seconds. And then we have to set a timestamp for it, so private float timestamp, so we know how long it's been living. And then we'll do, okay, so Control L, thanks for that tip, I should remember that. Let's see, void on enable, so this is another mono behavior that runs every time something is enabled, and we have to run it not in start, because we need to do this every time the bullet is woken up by set active. So when this weapon is firing at here and activates it from the pool with set active, then the bullet will run this on enable. And then we want to do timestamp equals time.time, and this is a Unity variable that sets the current. It's just a float value from when the... Okay, so Control L. Sorry about that. Okay, so here as well on update now, we need to move it. So transform translate, which means to move it, and we'll do it in vector 3 forward, because we want to move it in the bullet's forward direction. And again, I can't spell. And then we do it times velocity, because we want to move it at that speed. And then we have to do it frame rate independent and do time.delta time. And then we'll do if time.time is greater than timestamp plus time to live, then we want to expire this one, so we'll just set the bullet to inactive. Game object, or game object set active false. That disables the bullet after the time stamp. And we also have to do a hit here. We'll just do a collision. I won't do raycasting now, I'll just do another mono behavior here, which is on collision enter, and then collision. Let's see, collision, I think that's predefined, yeah. That argument will come in there, and we'll just do, let's just do a debug log to say we're hitting something here. Okay, and now we should be able to, we have to have a collider on the bullet then as well. So bullet prefab, here we go. Add component, we'll just do a sphere. Sphere collider is the fastest type of collider. So it's much, well, I wouldn't say much faster, but it's faster than a box collider, because a sphere collider only needs to check the radius from the center to whatever it's hitting. So sphere versus sphere collider is the fastest type of collisions that you can do in Unity. Could be good to know. So let's see. We've got that one, we've got everything set now, I think. We've got the collider, let's try it. Okay, so we're not having anything, and that's probably because... let's see, did we get a hit here? Did I even assign it? So bullet. We got the trail render. Okay, so I did not assign the bullet script. There we go. So the bullets are way too slow, and they're stopping to fire. So I press space and then I let go. Okay, it's only firing one. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's because I put 10, so it'll probably take a long time. 10 rounds per minute isn't very fast, is it? Okay, that makes sense. So let's speed it up to 100 bullets per second or per minute. So, and then for the bullet here, let's increase the speed of it to 200 in velocity maybe. Okay, so that's a little bit faster. Okay, we've got some issues here. Don't know what this is about. Vertex buffer. Okay, maybe I need to update Unity, because that doesn't seem to be a script problem related to what I just created. Okay, so let's make it 500 and let's make it fast. 200 rounds per minute. Okay, so now the bullets are a bit too long, so we can make them, we just make the time to live for this trailer render slower, so, or shorter, so maybe 0.05. Okay, that's a bit better. And then we can make them glow a little bit more again. So let's see, this bullet material, let's increase the emission to 3. Okay, that's a big bullet. Let's maximize this to see. Okay, and then you could just create different prefabs with different settings. Maybe that was a little bit too bright, so let's bring it down a little bit again, maybe to 2.2. And then again, we can make it fire a lot faster. 500 rounds per minute. There we go. So now we've got some firing here. It's got nothing to hit at the moment. We could try to create a test target. So create 3D object cube. And let's make it a little bit bigger. 222. Okay, a bit bigger again. Should make sure we can hit it. Okay, it's not hitting it at the moment. So it could be again now because the bullet is going too fast. That could very well be the case. Because we have a box collider on that one. And on the bullet, we had a... Did we have a sphere collider on it? Yep. So it should really... Let's try to decrease the speed of it. Okay, still not triggering. So something's wrong with our triggering code here. Bullet on collision enter. On collision enter. We should really have something there. Okay, let's check the chat as well first. So, see what I missed. Aren't you missing the Fs for the floats? Yeah, usually you have to. You can still assign them without the Fs, but if you don't put a whole number in them, then you need to provide the F if it's a decimal number. Save your work often. Yeah, that's true. You should do. I should do. Control S. There we go. I haven't actually saved the scene. Control S. So if the Unity would have crashed now, we would have been not so good. Let's see. Watch the talk about ML agents for Unity. Wonder if you could teach players. Oh yeah, I've been thinking about that as well with machine learning. But last time I looked at machine learning for Unity, it was like in such a beta version and like a mayhem of Python scripts. And it took me. I was at a Unite Berlin a couple of years ago, and we were supposed to set up the ML library in Unity, and it took me about 40 minutes, and I couldn't even set it up. So. But it would be cool if it could have been used. So yes, but you'll be able to watch this later on. It'll stay online, the stream. Coroutine and yield return, not better. Yeah, you could do that. You could definitely do a coroutine and yield. Love this track. I wonder if it's this one you mean. I don't know if you said it before. This one was from Plasma Sky, a shoot 'em up game that a guy made for Android. Yeah, like Galaxy Invaders, pretty much something like that. Is this the base hunter of the game development? Swedish, I guess, and likes electronic music. Cool. Glad you like it, Space Crawler. Bullet needs a rigid body. Oh, thanks. You're probably totally right there. So let's check it out. A rigid body. I would have thought that the primitive colliders should have detected it, but you're probably right. So we can't use gravity. Let's try that out. I would have thought that it should still trigger a... Okay. What? Okay. Oh, they're colliding with each other or something. No, what's going on? can I do this? You shouldn't really translate them the way I'm doing it if I'm using... No, that's probably not it. Let's see. I would have thought that... Let's see. Is there anyone else in the chat picking up why it's not... bullet needs rigid body. Let's swap the... So it's the rigid body on the target instead. Let's do the cube rigid body and then do it kinematic because we don't need to move the cube. Still not triggering. So discrete should be fine, I think, even for this. Now that I've moved them to slow. So I think that should be alright. It's something else. Let's see if show us the code again. Alright. So we've got on collision enter on the bullet. Collision. I do a debug log hit here. Yeah, nice unintended. It's like a swarm of bullets that just fires. So, all right, bad. Welcome back tomorrow. No, uncheck both. Cube as effector. I'm not sure. It should on collision enter. On. Have I spelled this even correctly? On collision. Yep. Collision enter. Let's put a copy of the spaceship there, but it's definitely like the most primitive of targets with a cube, so it should definitely work. Yeah, you could try it on trigger enter. Let's see. Still no hits. Or am I even displaying the... Let's see. Yeah, clear on play. That's it. Alright, let's try that. Let's do on trigger instead, but sometimes I use that as well, actually, for bullets as well, instead of collision, so we can try that. I think that comes with... I'll just try to see if that triggers it. Because I know the criteria are a little bit different for triggers. Well, it should definitely be, should work with on collision enter. Yeah, we got the hit register now. So I think you're onto what you said about the rigid body. So the trigger hits, but not when it's set to. Let's just try it one more time. Collider, and it'll do on collision enter. I'll just save some time by disabling that one. So we're still not hitting that one. That's so weird. I'm missing something. It's not the first time I've done this mistake either. It's like, it's probably so obvious why it's not working, but it's so the cube. Let's try it. Okay, now we get the hit. So yeah, it's if you want to use physics, then it's probably better to use like proper rigid body stuff for all the stuff. And if you want to do it like a 2D shooter, like we're aiming to do, I'd probably go for the trigger instead. So because you don't really want the physics collisions anyway. So yeah, if you just detect the triggers, it's probably better. So let's do this. So trigger, then we don't need the rigid bodies there. Okay, and now I probably forgot to set, so the cube, just switch that one to trigger. So that's what we'll do for the targets as well later on. Okay, still not. Thought I fixed this. So trigger, on trigger, enter. Oh really? I think we did it without the rigid body, didn't we? God, I should know this. And can that be kinematic? Yeah, you're right. So now we should also... Here's an issue as well. If we were to disable this here, let's say we hit the object and then we just disable the bullet, then I think we were onto this topic before, then you'll see that the trail renderer just disappears. Okay, they move so fast that it's probably okay to see. You don't really see it anyway. So you could probably get away with it, but sometimes you have to disable it with a delay, and then you could use a coroutine. So you could have it, instead of being set inactive straight away, if you need the trail, let's actually do this. Let's change the bullet here, and then time to live is okay, but we'll do the trail render. Let's say we had a lot longer, like 0.3. You can see now if I fire one bullet there, that it just disappears. So sometimes if you have longer bullets like that, you probably want to change so that it doesn't delete it anyway. You could do a coroutine here that deactivates it after a short while. But again, with the bullets moving faster now, it's not really a problem. So okay. We could also do, let's see what I've got here. Rob, okay, take care of it, mate. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. Yeah, still the rigid body, that's true. Still a must. Yeah, set active false when they're out of view, that's right. There's actually called, I think there's one called on became invisible. Void on became invisible. And here you could also do deactivate it, and it just gets returned to the pool basically. So now when they go out of screen, it actually, the only reason why they don't disappear here is because it's not invisible for the editor. That's why you can still see them here. But if I zoom this in, it'll actually, you can see that they'll be disabled here a lot faster. So there they go away. But if I zoom out, because they're still visible to the editor, that's why they stay visible here for a lot longer. So Dead, I don't know if you can post code actually. I don't know if that works here. Oh no, I won't, Krish, I won't forget the racing game. Sorry for the delay. I have to just get my act together and sort that out. Not the last episode, but that episode anyway. Like I said before, I have to take advantage when my inspiration for something comes, because if I force myself to do something that when I've got other stuff that I feel like I need to do, I don't do as good of a job, but I'll try. Okay, so I guess what we should really do enemy ships and stuff like that as well, and explosions and things like that. It's 3:52 a.m. here now, so I think I'm actually going to round this one off too. So I thought it was just fun to have a little video where we could have a chat together. And I don't know if I should continue this or make something else, but I should probably put together a tutorial for this so it's not 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever we've been sitting here now. So anyone who's had the patience to watch so far, I hope you got something out of it. It was a lot of fun anyway. So let's see. if I missed anything. I probably missed loads of questions, so sorry about that if I didn't catch you. But do join the Discord. I'll put a link in the description to this video as well. And I'll try to jump in there every now and then when I can. So, alright, so people are... I'm going to let you off to go to bed now, or enjoy the rest of the evening if you're somewhere else in the world. So, thanks a lot, guys, for joining. And yeah, just shoot some comments in the comments field, and I'll try to do some more streams like this. It's a lot of fun to just join in. I need the practice as well. It's a lot of fun to just make whatever. So I'll do more Blender stuff, and I'll do more Unity stuff. And if you have any requests on covers or on topics to cover, just put it in the comments as well, and I'll see what I can do to fit that in. Fix the on-trigger enter method is not coded right. Alright, okay. I'll have to check what could be wrong with that one, but I think on-trigger enter is just... It seemed to trigger, so... what did you mean by not coded correct? Let's see, I used the destroy on contact script for a simul game. Yeah, that works too. So can you make more tutorials on character and character animations? Yes, I've got that in mind too. Like I said, with the 100,000k subscribers, I don't know how that's going to work. I'm planning to stream for 24 hours. I'm going to do a lot of character animation and characters then, but I'll also do dedicated tutorials for it. I already have some of the stuff in my earlier videos, so check those out, but I'll definitely cover that topic again, both because I want to learn it more and I want to be able to help out more, because it is a tricky topic. Okay, you don't actually need the collision parameter on trigger enter. You can, if you want to have use of it, then you can add it. So, but you don't have to use it. But I'm probably going to add it later on, because you want to be able to pick up the contact point, so you can spawn some like sparks and things like that. Make a low poly character of yourself or your logo guy. I've actually made my logo guy in 3D in 3ds Max back in the day, but I should definitely redo that one. Chris, I just wanted to say thank you. You really reignited my dream to learn, or desire to learn Blender. Great to hear that, Chris. So I hope you stick with it and keep the motivation up. Okay, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next stream and in the next video. And come back next Thursday as well, where I'll do my 10-minute video. Hit the like button if you can even do that on a live stream. I don't know, and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, Patreon if you want to drop by there. It's patreon.com/Imphenzia. Until next time, have a great one, and bye for now. Let's see if I shut this off now as well. End stream.